Stadium, 60,000 plus, a playoff atmosphere as the Steelers and the Bengals battle in the AFC Central. The standings fine. Pittsburgh in front by 2, but Cincinnati tied with Houston, Cleveland in second. They feel a win today, and they're very much a part of the playoff picture. They've been described this game as brutally important for the Cincinnati Bengals. They've got a fine young quarterback in Jeff Blake, and he has some talent to catch the ball.
Yes, he does. I think what's really nice about the Cincinnati Bengals, everybody in this league is looking for impact players. The Bengals are loaded with it. Not only do they have Jeff Blake at quarterback, but look who he throws the football to. Pickens on the outside, 13 touchdown receptions already. Darnay Scott, when he catches the ball, he can do a lot of good things with it. Then, if he gets in trouble, what's he do? He dumps the ball over to the middle to his tight end, Tony McGee, who just has that knack of getting open for those short passes.
Well, since the Bengals beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh 27-9, Pittsburgh has won 3 in a row.
Yeah, they have some pretty good offense. 2 acquisitions on offense. Eric Pegram, that they got as a running back, enables the Pittsburgh Steelers to not only go outside now, but also inside. The other thing is Cordell Stewart. I'm going to tell you something. This guy is a nightmare for defensive coordinators. What he does is this. They line him on the outside. Now he's a pass receiver. Then you got to adjust to him if he goes back in, he goes under center. Is he going to run with the football, or is he going to throw the football? And we may see one more other wrinkle in this game today. That is if they put Cordell Stewart in the backfield with Neil O'Donnell and hand him the ball. Look out, Cincinnati.
Shula, the youngest coach in the league, though, in his 4th year here in Cincinnati at age 36. His famous father is busy elsewhere on this NFL Sunday. David Donald Shula. And this team is about ready to mature into a serious threat, the Bengals. Jeff Hill and David Dunn. It is done, and look at this. Passes back to Hill. Hill has some blockers at the 35, the 40, the 50. Figures can't get him, and he's all the way to the 33-yard line. Oh, my, what a start. Play.
Look at David Dunn to the left of the field, throws it all the way across. What a pass. The Pittsburgh Steelers are not the only ones that have some trick plays. The Bengals come out, set the tone today. Start out with the special teams, and really a fine job by Dunn and Hill.
Dunn threw 4 passes in college, and 3 were for touchdowns, so he knows how to throw it, and Hill knows how to carry it.
But the most important thing about this whole thing, Dick, was the fact that Dunn had to sell it. He had to sell run first to get all the defenders over to his side.
So the Bengals start with a first down at the Steeler 35-yard line. And they send Cochran in motion. Owen in the backfield with Blake. He throws to Cochran, incomplete. And a look at the men in orange and black who have lost 5 of their 6 games by a field goal. Sargent, Brumfield, Brills, Kalis, and Walter. Walter goes back to the Boomer days and Super Bowls for Cincinnati. Blake emerging as one of the real star quarterbacks in the league. Green and Cochran in the backfield. Pickens with his 13 touchdowns, and Scott has all the speed. McGee, a solid tight end, and David Dunn, we've already seen him, comes in the 3 wide. 2nd and 10. The toss to Harold Green, and the former South Carolina star runs right in. Kevin Henry. Henry with a tackle after a 2-yard gain for the men from Pittsburgh. Henry, Buckner, and Seals in the 3-4 alignment. Green, Kirkland, Brown, and Lloyd. What a quartet of linebackers. Lake is solid on the corner. He's got great speed. Williams at the other. Bell moves in at safety, vacated by Lake, and Darren Perry, he's the man they like to get in the flow. He makes the interceptions. 3rd down, call it 7. Blake, gun, complete to Pickens. Oh, what a move in the sidelines. And Pickens out of bounds inside the 10. 24 yards.
Cincinnati does a good job of coming out here. The guy they picked on last time is Alboy Mays, Jeff Blake. They have 2 people over there to cover. Carl Pickens, he does a good job of getting away from Alboy Mays and making a big play.
It's a run after the catch that makes Pickens, and Alboy Mays makes, but Bell, C40, they've already got him pinned to the sideline. He lets him fake him, hold him, and get downfield for another 12 yards.
Pickens' 61st catch of the season, 13 for touchdowns to lead the NFL. First and goal from the 9. Faked it incomplete. He had the touchdown there to Darnay Scott, but overthrew him.
Well, the Bengals, what they're trying to do here is make a good play-action fake, freeze everybody and then try to hit the seam real quick. He's got him open, but you can see the ball just gets away from Jeff Blake. It goes high. Darnay Scott cannot make the catch.
Jeff Blake from East Carolina is only 24, will be turning 25. They're on waivers from the Jets, where they just, in the third year of New York, they just didn't give him many snaps even in the summer camp. Blake guns. Incomplete, and the flag is down. This time intended again for Darnay Scott in his second year from San Diego State. Willie Williams on the coverage. Bob McElwee, the referee, says offside Pittsburgh. So Bill Cowher, who was
offside, number 91, defense, lined up in the neutral zone. Half the distance to the goal line, second down.
Kevin Green lined up offside.
I think his hair was offside. Starts blowing in the breeze and gets offside.
Half the distance takes it to the 4-yard line. The Bengals have been very tough in the red zone. In fact, in the top 5 in the league, touchdowns 57% of the time.
Pretty impressive stat, because the fact is they do not run the football real well, so they're getting a lot of those scores and getting in position with their passing game.
Second and goal from the 4. Blake. Touchdown Scott. Third time the charm. Darnay Scott, his 4th of the year. And Jeff Blake now has run his current leading NFL string of touchdown passes to 18 consecutive games. Impressive opening drive that was 35 yards thanks to the trick work on the opening kickoff, and now Doug Pelfrey to the extra point, and the Bengals lead 7-0. You're watching the NFL on NBC. 95, Greg Lloyd scolding his teammates as the Steelers see an early Cincinnati touchdown set by the 62-yard kickoff return. Dunn's cross-field pass to Jeff Hill on the long lateral, and then Hill running it to the Pittsburgh 35, where Blake threw to Darnay Scott, 4 yards for the score. A 21st touchdown pass for Blake. And a 7-0 lead as Pelfrey has it teed up. Deep to return, Ernie Mills. It is Mills at the 6. Mills finds a gap and is across the 35 to the 40. Hit by Roger Jones. 34 on the return. Back to the touchdown.
Well, let's look. Here's Darnay Scott right here in the slot. Here's Willie Williams covered him. He's going to come up here and go to the outside. The important thing is Willie Williams has inside technique. Jeff Blake throws a nice, high, soft pass, gives his receiver a chance to adjust. Easy touchdown for the Bengals.
When Darnay Scott is to the outside, there's touchdown now. There's just no way to recover for Willie Williams. He's already beaten, and you're right, absolutely. We talked about it before. The trajectory of that pass, just drop it in.
Scott with frightening speed, didn't need it on that play. First down at the Steeler 40. Neil O'Donnell hands off to Eric Pegram, and he has 4 off the right side. Steve Tovar, 58 in on the tackle, along with James Francis. The Steelers with Strelzik, Newberry, the Pro Bowler Dawson, Stye, the rookie from Nebraska, and Searcy. O'Donnell, and he's become well appreciated in the Steel City as he's returned from injury. Pegram and Williams, Thigpen and Mills outside, and the rookie from Washington, Mark Bruner, starts at tight end. Cordell Stewart, we're going to see him as the 3rd wideout today. Second down 6. O'Donnell underneath to the tight end Bruner, short of the first down at the 47-yard line. O'Donnell working against this Cincinnati defense. Young and tough and big. Copeland and Wilkinson, both top first-round picks. Rucker and Smith complete the front 4. Francis, Tovar, the leading tackler, and McDonald at the backers. Jones and Jones at the corners. Walker and Williams at safety. And in the nickel, Corey Sawyer, second-year corner from Florida State. A big play man comes in. Cordell Stewart is slotted left. Underneath and complete on the slant and a fumble. And the umpire gets caught in the middle. Who's got it? The Cincinnati Bengals say they do. They do have it. The turnover at their own 47. Todd Kelly recovered it.
Neil O'Donnell told what they do best, the slant pattern. Ernie Mills, you see him there. Bracey Walker, the big hitter for the Cincinnati Bengals defense, comes up and forces the fumble.
Pepper Bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. By DirecTV, it's personalized TV. By Chevrolet, the cars and trucks 36 million people depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet. And by Beechwood Aged Budweiser, the king of beers. This Bud's for you.
On the turnover, the Bengals start at their 47-yard line thanks to Bracey Walker's big hit. Kelly recovering. 7-0 Cincinnati as Blake looking long. Hangs it long for Scott. Incomplete, and Willie Williams makes a fine defensive play. Boy, does he put some air on those long passes.
I tell you what, and that's one of the reasons why this ball is almost caught. As you can see, Willie Williams has good position, but the ball is up in the air so long, the defensive back gets a little worried, and sometimes they react too quick. But a good job right there. You can see it actually goes right through the hands of Darnay Scott.
But he had to look back over his shoulder and lean back, and Williams is right in his sight plan. 2nd and 10. Blake on the draw. Gives to Green, and Green is caught in the backfield for a 2-yard loss by Darren Perry, along with a 96 Brenson Buckner. And there are a lot of Steeler fans here. You'll hear a roar on the good plays by Pittsburgh.
Now, the one thing, talking to Kevin Green yesterday, and I looked at him right in the eye and I said, can anybody run on Pittsburgh? He said, absolutely not. And what we do is we take our lanes. When we force people to run the ball, we make sure that it gets back to the safety. Who made the tackle on that last play? Darren Perry, the safety.
3rd and 12. Third wide receiver is David Dunn. Pretty tight formation. Scott, the touchdown maker in motion. Blake, is he hit rudely at the 37-yard line by Kevin Green. Green's 6th sack of the year.
Tell you, this guy said, first of all, you're not going to run us. And second of all, we know now that when he rushes on a play, he usually line up on Joe Walters. When he rushes on a play, watch him bull rush. He bull rushes from the outside. When he comes up, he knows the quarterback is only going to take a 4 or 5 step drop. So now he knows I have to come up inside. He was knocked on the ground, backed up, and made the play. That's hustle.
And to punt, Lee Johnson, who has the best net of any kicker in the NFL, nearly 40 yards net, 44 gross. Left footer hits a wobbler that's short, a fair catch, and Hastings slipped and gets a break because the ball takes a big Steeler bounce all the way to the 42-yard line. Pittsburgh will start there at the 42, down 7-0 when we come back. With the first sack of the game, the 30th for the Steelers this year. Actually, they started 2 less than Cincinnati. The Bengals with 31 sacks that put them 4th in the league. And Kevin Green and Greg Lloyd on the outside of that 3-4 alignment. Those two backers of Harris quarterbacks in the meanest of ways the last couple of years. There's Lloyd ready for his turn as Pittsburgh on only a 21-yard lead. Johnson punt starts at the 42. To the 47-yard line. Eric Pegram, gentlemen, when that move was made to acquire him as a free agent from Atlanta in the offseason, was kind of a so what around the NFL. He's been a lot more than that for Pittsburgh.
Well, he's been the most valuable player on their offense, I think, so far this year. They can't overpower teams with their offensive line anymore like they did last year with Barry Foster. Eric Pegram gives them that versatile ability to go outside when they need to, when they can't block them inside.
2nd and 5. Throw. Incomplete. And the flat line as Ernie Mills hit prematurely by Roger Jones.
Victor, one other thing about Pegram that I thought was interesting last night when we were having the meetings.
Number 24, defense.
Roger Jones. But you know, the thing last night we're having a meeting and we're talking to Pegram, and Rob Woodson walks in, the all-perennial, all-pro, best corner in the league probably, and we said, hey, what's made this offense so much better? And he just pointed to Pegram. He said, that guy right there is the guy that's made our offense move.
There's Rod Woodson, the one of the great cornerbacks in NFL history, and he says if the Steelers make it to the second round of the playoffs, he thinks he could play in January. On first down after the penalty, it's Pegram. Big hole up the middle, and he's down to the 35 of Cincinnati before Ricardo McDonald can make the stop.
Did you see the move he made when he got to the hole, Phil? He makes just a quick left. He sees it. You'll see Pegram come in right into the line of scrimmage. Now watch this move right to his left. Bam! It's there. Here he is, out to the outside, and he picks up 4 more yards.
I also saw Tom Newberry, the left guard, burying one of the defensive linemen for the Bengals. Good job of reading the blocks. They push it to the right, and he was able to cut back.
James Francis, the linebacker, is the injured Bengal. Studying his left lower leg.
Well, this guy's been having a great year for the Bengals. He is one of the mainstays in the defense, and even though this defense is the worst defense in professional football, they're 30th out of 30 teams. But most of that, their pass defense is 30th.
Francis, who is the answer to a trivia question down in Dallas. Jimmy Johnson wanted Francis desperately in 1990 draft. But Cincinnati took him as the 12th pick in the first round, and so Johnson was forced to take Emmitt Smith as the 17th player of the first round.
Forced to take him.
What a bad decision by Dallas.
Well, James Francis, this does not look good at all as they bring out the card. Number 50.
Here is number 50, and it looks like he possibly twists his knee. Here he is here. And right there, it's his ankle. It's his left ankle that they were looking at because that was bent underneath him.
There's James Francis right there. Watch when the Steelers come out. He's going to try to take the lead blocker on John L. Williams, and he tries to brace himself right there. And you see when he gets pushed back over the pile, that's what it looks like. If you watch his left leg right here, you're going to see the blockers come. He's got his foot turned.
So while they work on James Francis, we'll take this commercial timeout. Front, James Francis taken off in the cart. They had that cast on his lower left leg and ankle. Andre Collins, 55, replaces him at linebacker. It's second down and short. Second and 2 as O'Donnell gives to Pegram. Talking backfield, twists away, and down he goes at the 35. No gain. Dan Big Daddy Wilkinson, 99, able to get in on the play. Neil O'Donnell, perhaps underrated in more than a few eyes.
A lot of eyes underrate Neil O'Donnell. Look here, the low interception rate that he's had in his career, and I think there's a couple reasons for that. One, he didn't play on a bad team when he first started. As a quarterback, he does make very good decisions, and the fact that he sat on the bench for a couple years, he didn't throw those dumb interceptions I think you have a tendency to do when you first get in there.
Cordell Stewart in as they go to the 5 wide. They toss to Stewart, and Stewart has a first down and more to the 20 to the 19. Last week he touched the ball 5 times, had 4 first downs, and threw a touchdown. He gets a first down on that 15.
Remember I said in the beginning, Dick, I said watch out if they don't hand him the ball. Here's that play I'm talking about. They just flip it to the outside to Cordell Stewart. That is a lateral, so this is a running play and not a pass play.
And he would have been eligible to pass the ball off that formation on that lateral.
That's right, but look at it right there. You see Charles Johnson making a good block, and Justin Strelzik, the left tackle, gets out there. They cross block and open up a big hole for Cordell Stewart.
Slash Stewart contributes again for Pittsburgh. Trailing 7-0, they give to Pegram. No gain. Good job by the defensive left side of the Bengal line, led by Wilkinson and Copeland.
One of the things folks understand, and we've talked to Cordell Stewart yesterday at length, this man wants to play quarterback, so don't get any misgivings about this guy being a receiver, a runner, and all this other stuff. He wants to play that position, Phil.
Yeah, he does, but I tell you what, did you see his eyes light up when Dick Imberg says, hey, Slash, and boy, I like that nickname now. He loves it.
Yeah, he says Slash because that implies quarterback is in front of that slash mark and wide receiver after. Towers handled that very well. Delicate matter otherwise. No fumble. Andre Collins just in for the injured James Francis. Big play man acquired from the Redskins as an unrestricted free agent. Collins
Yeah, Andre Collins does a good job of following the other blitzers. Here he is over here. Watch him come around the blocks. The center, Darmonte Dawson, cannot get off of the little traffic jam created there. Can't get off in time. Andre Collins, with his great speed, is able to get to the quarterback before he's blocked.
12-yard loss on the sack by Collins. Cordell Stewart is back in. Stewart to the left in the slot. Third down, 22. 5 receivers. And knocked out at the line of scrimmage by John Copeland, number 92.
The best pass defense in football. Knocked the ball down at the line of scrimmage by a lineman or a linebacker. That was Copeland, number 92, that just sits there waiting. Look at Copeland. He's blocked at the line of scrimmage. His job is to read. He reads the quarterback size and then up in the air. That thing hit him in the mouth.
Yeah, he didn't need those hands that time. Oh, that's right. Hits him right in the face mask. A good job by the Cincinnati Bengals defense. They took away all the deep patterns. Neil O'Donnell trying to go underneath. Copeland knocks it down.
Norm Johnson to try a 50-yard field goal, his longest of the year, if successful. And he hits it straight enough. Is it long enough? By plenty. That would have been good from 60. Johnson, some had thought his aging leg didn't have that kind of distance. Did he power that one through?
I'll tell you what, they better check that ball right there. Norm Johnson, not noted for kicking the ball. Long field goes right there, catches all of it, and clears the crossbar by a good 10 yards. Well, maybe 15 yards.
Yeah, I think so. You know, what did I love what Neil O'Donnell said? He said, you know, this guy's locker's next to mine. He said, I don't really talk to him a lot. He
doesn't understand him.
Yeah, he says he's on another planet, like Planet 9. Look at Cowrie. He loves it. Thank you very much. Yes.
Number 9 delivers 3 for the Steelers, and 7-3. It's his longest of this season. His longest ever is 54. Neil O'Donnell to the phones as the Steelers get ready to kick off. The Bengals, and I have David Shula, have developed a very solid, exciting offense. But that defense. Yeah, almost 400 yards a game, and yet at a 4-1, 6-loss record, the 5 of the 6 losses by only a field goal. So they're that close to really being solid. Into the front wedge to Kimo von Oelhoffen. And Kimo from Boise State is out across the 30-yard line.
He's going to keep that for a souvenir, it looks like.
Well, Kimo, he told us yesterday he can't wait for that Thanksgiving Day game. Kansas City and Dallas, the showdown, and after that night, the NBC holiday tradition of Home Alone, one of the biggest comedy hits of all time. Home Alone on NBC Thanksgiving night, and what a game we have for you at 3:30 Eastern as the Kansas City Chiefs 9-1 going into this weekend against the Dallas Cowboys 8-2. The Bengals with a 7-3 lead as Jeff Blake sets them up at the 32. Some daylight and a first down to the 46. A rumble of 14.
Well, right there, the Steelers get a little over-anxious, and really what happens is Bill Johnson comes in now for the first time today. Look at him up top here. He's going to get caught too far down inside, opens up a big running lane for Harold Green right there. Kevin Green had him outside, forced him in. Bill Johnson gets washed too far down inside.
First good running play for the Bengals in this opening quarter. 6:20 remaining. And the give to Green, and not much this time.
Well, you know, the play before with Green was not designed to go where he went. He went back there on his own because he saw the hole over there. But this defensive line and linebackers for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I wouldn't like to make my payday running against these guys because they take every single gap. And the thing that Kevin Green told us, which is most important, we don't care about making a tackle along the defensive line. We set up all these lanes so that the safeties can make it.
Melvin Tootin, number 61, comes in as an eligible receiver. Watch out for him. He's 300 pounds, but a pretty good receiver. Out it comes to Pickens. And Pickens bumped out of bounds by Carnell Lake right at the yardsticks at the 44. in Pittsburgh territory.
Good job by Jeff Blake there, holding on the ball just for that extra second. But look at him right here. Even though he's 6 foot, look at this, right over the top. That's one of the reasons why, with his height, he's able to get the ball over these big defensive linemen. And there, Carl Pickens, tight man coverage, a good job of pushing Carnell Lake and getting outside for that, maybe a first down.
They'll measure Pickens at 6'2", with tremendous height, 2 inches taller than Blake, the quarterback. And you don't have to be 6'3" like Phil Simms or taller to be successful in this league, although everyone's quick to point out, starting with the scouts who look at him in college, 6 feet and under, you can't do it in the NFL.
Well, one other thing, too. Jeff Blake told us yesterday, he's over 6 foot, Dick.
That's right. He made a point.
Don't you guys put that 6 foot. He said, I'm over 6 foot.
Somebody called him 5'11", apparently, on a
5'10", they said he was.
5'10". He got a little upset over that. And, it has to be a sore point with him, because every time, like we said, he gets a pass knocked down, it's always his height. But if Drew Bledsoe at 6'5" gets him knocked down, nobody says anything about his height, of course.
It was a first down on the pass to Pickens. Play action. Blake guns wide open. It's Darnay Scott, and a first down inside the 20. They're going to mark it at the 21.
Darnay Scott left Willie Williams. He made a move to come back, and Willie Williams just stayed there, couldn't get back, and he talked about wide open. I'm talking 15 yards. Watch what Darnay Scott does now. He runs him off. Look at Willie Williams. He saves, he slips, he goes down. Darnay Scott is there, makes the play, and then gets upfield for another 10 yards.
That's just a good job right there, designed by the Bengals offense. Usually when you see that quick move and go, you expect them to go deep. They cross him up and come back. That's why he was so wide open.
And you've got to respect that deep pattern with Scott's speed. First and first. Takes the reverse. Green keeps it. And is to the 16, a 5-yard pickup before Bill Johnson, former Cleveland Brown, makes the tackle.
Well, it's really a good job by the Steeler defense, staying at home, being disciplined. You're going to see the fake reverse. They don't go for it. But Harold Green, like the Bengals so far today, the Steeler defense cannot just make the play at the line of scrimmage to stop them. Really a good job there at getting 5 yards.
When you're going to run a fake reverse, at least get close to the guy with the ball.
That would help.
You got to sell it a little bit more than they sold it there.
Well, Harold's not known for his great ball faking.
They split the tight end, Tony McGee, to the bottom of your screen. Both wide receivers to the right on 2nd and 5. Blake over the middle. Complete to Tootin. Oh, wow. Tootin to the 8-yard line. And Melvin, who caught a 3-yard touchdown pass against Jacksonville early in the season, has his second grab of the year.
Well, Melvin Tootin, they usually put him in there to block, and here you go see him right here. Number 61, about 6'7", and he does run very well. We watched him in practice Friday. He's running down, catching passes from Blake, did a fine job.
Well, you see what Lloyd did to him? He hit him so hard in the head with his shoulder, almost lost his helmet.
Yeah, Tootin was a reserve basketball player at Syracuse. He's a big guy. He's got good hands, good movement. First and goal. To the 2, maybe the 1, before Darren Perry can make the tackle. Well, you saw the signal from Shula. Go with the strength. Go with the extra muscle.
I'll tell you, just a good job of the Bengal offense and Bruce Coslett. They're giving them a lot of different looks, a lot of formations and changing the plays up there. Harold Green finding that little opening to the left, gets in there. Right now, this Bengal offense has this Pittsburgh Steeler defense guessing.
2nd and goal from the 1 as they bring in Sadowski with McGee, 2 tight ends. There's Bruce Coslett. Played here as a tight end with Bob Trumpy, and then as an assistant many years before getting a head coaching chance with the Jets, however short-lived. We'll be right back. Year-old from Sanford, Florida, Jeff Blake. There are a lot of qualities that go into making an outstanding quarterback, but one you must have is a quarterback with confidence. And when we talked with Blake yesterday, he said, looked us in the eye and he said, I am unstoppable. And he didn't do it in any braggish sort of way. I'm unstoppable. If my teammates do what they're supposed to do, you can't stop me.
Well, you know what? I believe him. I mean, he's shown it so far in his short NFL career. And I tell you, you're right, Dick. The hardest thing to have as a quarterback, it's confidence. It takes most of us. It did me many years to get it. This kid already has it.
From the 1-yard line, Blake can run it in himself. Touchdown. Oh, wow, that is flagrant. Kirkland.
Ron Kirkland hits Blake after he's in the end zone. That'll be a 15-yard penalty tacked on.
And he'll be hearing from the NFL office as well.
That's right, plus some money
This is absolutely ridiculous. Kirkland doesn't need to do something like this. You know, and Tootin went after Kirkland because he saw the play. And you see Cowher, he's right in Kirkland's face. Don't do that. I mean, this is dumb. This is going to be a 15-yard penalty on the kickoff, which will put the ball to, what, the 45-yard line. They'll kick it out of here.
That's a frustration tackle. Blake able to make it in, and was already starting to pull up when he got hit by Kirkland.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he was 3 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. I mean, if you're going to make plays, make him inside the playing field. And don't take a cheap shot after it's over with.
That's right. The other thing is, a quarterback, once you score and you get that deep in the end zone, you relax. So it's not like he's expecting to hit. And if he hits him a little harder, who knows? That's how you get hurt in this game sometimes, getting hit when there's really no need for it.
Yeah, Blake is a fine runner, by the way. We talked about his many qualities. He's the 3rd leading rusher on the Bengals, over 220 yards this year. He's got good speed. Saw him put a little spurt on there. You had to respect the pass.
Well, right there is another good example. The Steelers do a wonderful job. They defense the play. They take away Melvin Tootin, and they can't.
Doug Pelfrey adds the extra point, and Bengal fans in Riverfront cheer a 14-3 lead.
Well, here you're going to see Jeff Blake. He's going to fake, and he's going to roll to his right. Kevin Green does a good job covering the receiver, but nobody has the quarterback who accounts for him. And Levon Kirkland way late with the hit.
Well, the thing about it is, when you said about Blake being relaxed, that may save him from getting an injury because he is so relaxed. Watch him. He just goes up and he falls kind of gingerly, but he has no reason to hit that guy. No reason to hit him.
Well, look at David Shula right here. He's mad, and he's really mad, and I don't blame him because Jeff Blake goes down. There could go your season, so.
Oh, Blake wanted to let the fans know he's all right.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a little, he's been doing some studying in the studio.
That's some good style right there. I tell you, quarterback, that's one of the better spikes for quarterback I've seen in this league.
You know, we've talked about Blake and about how he's poised and all the other things, but there's one other ingredient. He's got a pretty good coach.
Yes, he does.
Kenny Anderson, who was a great player here, a great quarterback, is his coach. And, you know, it's nice to see in the National Football League a quarterback with a guy that played that position in the National Football League. They can't do anything but help him.
Well, he's got Bruce Coslet as his offensive coordinator, Kenny Anderson as his quarterback coach. And I like what Jeff Blake said. He said he told Kenny Anderson one day, look, I want you to be hard on me. When I do something wrong, teach me to do it better. I want to get better. And that's fine quality Jeff Blake has.
A 15-yard penalty, so the kickoff from the 45. Ernie Mills to the 30-yard line. Sometimes in that situation, you look for the onside kick. You're already kicking from midfield. Not a bad ploy. A reminder, right after our NFL action today, this is one of the top golf events of the year. It really gives you a chance to study the great players making all the shots. The Skills Challenge presented by Sun America. You see Jake there, Peter Jacobson, the 2-time champion. He leads the entry. Sports Illustrated's called this a don't miss event. The Skills Challenge is next.
Paul, I think you should be in that.
Yeah, I should be one of the sand traps.
No, you should be one of the caddies. You have a great skill for that.
I'm pretty good at finding lost balls. I get a lot of work on that. Late in the first quarter, 14-3, the deficit facing the Steelers. O'Donnell down the middle, and he's got a big game to the Cincinnati 47. It's Yancey Thigpen, his 54th catch of the year, leads Pittsburgh.
Well, this is a nice job by the Cincinnati Bengals. Right up here, you're going to see Yancey Thigpen. And what the Bengals are going to do, they're going to play 3 deep. And right here, he's going to hit what they call a skinny post in here, right there. This is not something the Steelers do a lot of, but because of this coverage, they put it in this week, and really fine execution by Neil O'Donnell and Yancey Thigpen.
Let's have confidence in your receiver. Throw that ball.
From the 46. Squirts through to the 41, a gain of 5. It's 14-3 in Cincinnati. Let's check elsewhere to New York. Take a 10-3 lead against the Washington Redskins. I think Brian got sacked. I think they knocked the microphone on the blind side. They blindsided Greg back there in New York.
Sound like Greg did that from a closet.
Second down and 5. Pegram. Call him a slasher. He's looking for a place to cut off a block, and he's shy of the first down. It'll be about 3rd and 2 as Smith and Tovar make the tackle. Bill Cowher, a spirited head coach, so well liked by his players, and of course his side was special teams and defense. He's talking to that defense.
Dick, I think one of the things he's saying to these guys is, look, come on. don't lose your poise. You are a better football team. That's what he's telling them. You're a better football team than this is. The offenses, they'll take care of what they have to do. But on defense, you're number 2. You got to do what you have to do.
That's right. Cordell Stewart in 5 wide, 3rd down, 1.5 yards. O'Donnell hears it through. And breaking through is Leonard Wheeler, an extra defensive back, number 37.
I would think you go for it here. I mean, this game is so important to both of these teams, but especially if Pittsburgh does knock off Cincinnati. What happens is that Cincinnati goes down 3 games. Here it is now. He's just getting labeled on the backside by Wheeler when he came in and he's getting ready to throw the ball. But this is 4th down situation. You go for it here.
And that is what Bill Cowher is going to do. The bad news for Cincinnati, James Francis, we understand, broken lower left leg. So his season is over. Cowher, apparently communications not working with Neil O'Donnell on the play call. And so timeout Pittsburgh. Cincinnati's fans love it so far.
Well, one thing, Dick, that you can do to this 5 wide receiver set that the Pittsburgh is using, you can see the 5 receivers. Well, look up top right here. You only have 5 linemen now, so you can't account for that extra blitzer. Neil O'Donnell told us, but the good thing is I can get rid of the ball quickly. But right here, they do a pretty good job of covering underneath. He has to hold on to it just a little bit longer, and he's not able to find the open receiver.
You know what happened is Cordell Stewart, maybe knowing the defenses and everything, Phil, but if he doesn't go inside, and if he stays outside, then the thing is open. What he does, let me show you something here. He comes down and comes in here. This linebacker is going to pick him up. So if he just stays straight down the field, there's nobody to cover him. See, he comes right into the linebacker. Now Neil has no place to throw.
Well, the Bengals did a good job there. They took that extra linebacker, sent that outside blitzer, put him back, expecting the Steelers to run some inside routes, and they guessed right that time. But I think the Steelers will be ready for that if they try it again.
Yeah, Stewart, in asking him about being a wide receiver, his comment was, he said, this is part of my education as a quarterback. I can't help but benefit from the fact I'm learning all these pass patterns.
Absolutely. How about the test they give him, Dick, every day? He gets to take a test.
Goes to both wide receiver meetings, then runs to the quarterback meetings. 4th down, a long one. And a flag down.
Movement in the offensive line.
And that may force Pittsburgh to punt.
False start prior to the snap. Number 72, 5 yards, 4th down.
Leon Searcy.
There you're going to see Leon Searcy right there at the end of the line. He's going to move just before the snap, but I think the Steelers were just going to try to draw him off sides anyway, because the way the Bengals are moving it, if they would not have picked up the 1st down, the Bengals offense, a short field, I don't know if I'd want to do that if I was the Steelers.
Hey, I tried to outguess him in Chicago when I was wrong. I thought he was forcing him to call a timeout. Don't try to, don't outguess
Bill Cowher. I know, he'll surprise you. You're right.
Corey Sawyer back inside the 15 is Ron Stark. Left footer will punt it for Pittsburgh, averaging 39.6. Just lays it up there, a soft spiral, and covered at the 7-yard line by the Steelers. Number 24, Chris Oldham. Well, the Thanksgiving menus are already being...
I'm looking forward to doing is we have 2 teams that are physical, and I don't think there's going to be any, like, guesswork. They're both going to try to come in there, run the ball, and just beat the other guy up, so it should make for a really exciting game.
Not a whole lot of gadgets in that game. They just line up and come after each other. I like that.
And our producer, John Ferratzis, director John Gonzalez, they're going to cook the Thanksgiving dinner in Dallas.
I'm going to eat out then.
So from the 7-yard line, Blake. Wide open, and the drop is Pickens. And Pickens stays in bounds. He is clever and has a 1st down at the 33. Carl Pickens. He's got 13 touchdowns. He's shown that he's not a bad operator in the open field as well. End of the 1st quarter.
Gets so wide open. Look at Carnell Lake at the bottom of your screen. The good play action fake by the Bengals. He thinks it's run. He goes running in there. You got to remember, Carnell Lake, a safety, using that safety mentality, went in there to help out on the run, left Carl Pickens wide open.
You bet.
Woo.
That's Pickens' 3rd catch for 56 yards, a 1st down. And now it's Green galloping out to the 42. 9 more yards for the Bengals before Myron Bell can make the stop.
You know, the one thing that you talked about yesterday, Phil, is about how Bruce Coslett has opened up the offense. We talk about Pittsburgh's offense being opened up, but this Cincinnati Bengal offense now, they believe that they can do anything with the ball. Run with the ball, pass with the ball.
Yes, they can. And I tell you, we talk about the emergence of their offense, Jeff Blake, but I tell you, I think one of the stars is this guy right here, Bruce Coslett. He's come in, and since he's been here, they've been exciting and productive on offense.
Blake on second down. Quick hit to Pickens. First down at the Pittsburgh 48. Carnell Lake and Greg Lloyd make the tackle.
Well, I mean, this is impressive. They have really got the Pittsburgh Steelers defense guessing. Second short. Carnell Lake is up top, way off the receiver. Jeff Blake does the easy thing, just throws a quick hit to Carl Pickens for big yardage again.
One of the things that happens is you take a look now, you've got Carnell Lake by himself out there with Pickens, okay? But the other thing is Darnay Scott on the other side. With all that speed, they have to respect it and put at least two people out there with him.
Whoops, Lloyd was offside. Lloyd for the running start, guessed wrong on the snap count.
Offside, number 95, defense, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, first down.
You look at Carnell Lake, and when they made the switch 3 games ago, it was after Cincinnati beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. They moved Lake from safety to corner. A lot of people said, well, does he have the speed to play corner? You bet. But he told us yesterday he'd never played in his life, including Pee Wee football, never played the corner.
And he says he's getting a little more used to it now. His vision has gotten better. He can look at the receiver and the quarterback at the same time. But the one thing he said I thought was kind of funny, he goes, man, I'm out there all by myself on an island, and I'm sure it is a kind of a frightful experience never being out there. Now all of a sudden he's out there covering some of the fastest guys in the NFL.
Yeah, on national television. Blake being chased by Lloyd, gets it off. Pickens. Having easy Pickens on that Steeler defense.
Well, let me just show you how you can get so wide open in this league and what happens here. It's a good play-action fake, but here's Carl Pickens. He's just going to go down here and get in the middle of the zone and be wide open. Most teams like to throw this ball short to the tight end, but you see the hole behind the defense. Jeff Blake, good job of waiting for the receiver to get open deep.
One thing about Darnay Scott, though, he's way down the other end of the field. They're chasing him, and that opens up that middle for this guy.
That's exactly right.
Pickens with 5 catches, 94 yards, and we've got 13 minutes left in the first half. Green to the 15-yard line and to the 14, rolled down by Levon Kirkland.
I'll tell you one thing, if Carnell Lake doesn't play that thing a little bit closer, know that island he's sitting out on, the sand is starting to erode around him. I'll tell you, because it gets awfully lonely out there when you're one-on-one on Pickens, and he's going to catch, he's on his way to about 20 catches in one day.
Yeah, well, Paul, you said something earlier that was right. Most teams that come in and play this blitzing Pittsburgh defense shrink their offense, and like you said, Bruce Coslett, he says, hey, we put in more this week, more pass plays and protections than I've ever had on a game plan.
Second and 8. Going to the sideline to Scott. Or Blake has landed right in their lap, isn't he?
He's landed in their lap, but I'm telling you that Lake is just having a terrible time. He is so far off of Darnay Scott. I mean, it's just throw and catch all day long. Look how far away they are. When you play that far off, you've got to throw that little short pass. You break it, you got touchdown.
I tell you what, though, Dick, you are right. This Blake, I think he's here to stay. He can play this position pretty well and throws such a nice ball. And you got the chance to watch him on film yesterday, and I get a kick out of watching you laughing at all the good throws and decisions he made.
Yeah, he'd be able to go up on top 3rd and 2, and Blake with a quarterback sneak, and it's going to be close.
Number 95, Greg Lloyd, he comes in here. Ooh.
Wow, Greg Lloyd right there being pushed back. He's fortunate that he did not get that leg hurt being caught underneath that pile.
Well, he's complaining. He said, you know, I don't mind him hitting me once. He said, but twice.
Yeah.
And for the Bengals, not enough for the first down. 4th and that much.
Well, they're going to go for it, I would think, right here, as good as they're moving the football. And I'm sure they have a little wrinkle that Pittsburgh has not seen yet, and they'll try it out right here.
Well, let me tell you what they're doing. They're bringing in a huge wrinkle.
Yeah.
Melvin Tootin. That is a wrinkle in a fold. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in Cincinnati, they're rooting for Tootin.
He's got more muscles in the back of his neck than I have in my entire body.
Well, that's not saying a lot, Paul.
That's right, too. Forget about that.
Troy Sadowski also comes in, so they got McGee, Tootin, and Sadowski to bookend with Pickens to the left. 4th and inches. Interference, Pittsburgh. Oh, it was Lake. Excuse me, Carnell Lake. All-pro has a rough day.
Interference, number 37 defense in the end zone. First down on the 1-yard line.
What a play for the Bengals to pick out the old moon ball. They're going to throw it up. Carnell Lake gets him right there, and he's got those hands in there, and I don't know, Paul. I did not see the pass interference.
It's after Pickens goes by. That's where Carnell Lake grabs him. He puts his arms in. If you'll see Carnell Lake's right arm on Pickens' right arm. There's where you can't touch him. They'll let you get away with some things until the ball is in the air. Now watch what happens when the ball's in the air. The ball's in the air now. See his right arm? It's on his right arm, and that's where they call it.
Interference in the end zone. 1st and goal from the 1. Lake to Pickens. Jerry Rice proud. 8 straight completions for Jeff Blake. And Dave Shula's offense has produced 3 first-half touchdowns. Back for point by Pelfrey. Cincinnati 21, Pittsburgh 3.
Well, Jeff Blake throws the old moon ball. I was in practice Friday, and I tell you, they must have thrown 15 or 20 of these passes, but I have to admit, I never saw Carl Pickens catch one of them one-handed, and what a catch right there.
It says it all,
then. Ford introduces the all-new Taurus, where every curve flows into an ingenious new design, where one-of-a-kind ideas unfold, where everything you touch is soft on your fingertips. And even the back seat shows forward thinking. The all-new Ford Taurus. Making the dream come true.
Oh, not now. It's 1 in the morning. My brain's fried.
Just give me your CD drive.
Give it a rest, will you?
The compact LTE 5000. Has it changed your life yet?
Got an eating machine at home? Well, now you can fill them up without emptying your wallet. Stop by KFC and pick up our new freshly baked chunky chicken pot pie, a biscuit, and a medium drink, just $3.99.
Everybody needs a little KFC.
You know?
Huh?
I made a decision today.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going back to the office.
Great.
Relax. I didn't say I wasn't going back to work.
The compact Presario. Has it changed your life yet?
Have you heard what Jim's driving? What's he got now? You should see this thing. What an incredible machine. Sleek, aerodynamic. Fast? Oh, yeah. That baby really moves. So what kind of engine does he have in that thing anyway? Nuclear reactor.
You'd be amazed at what teenagers are driving these days.
Right full rudder, steady course 355, helm on.
For more information, call 1-800-USA-NAVY.
Jeff Stad was his high school coach and now a Baptist minister down in Sanford, Florida. 21-3, bobbled around, and Charles Johnson finally picks it up for the Steelers. As far restored to Colorado is drilled at the 13-yard line.
All right, Dick, first of all, Carnell Lake, watch the interference. Watch his right hand grab the right hand of Pickens. Right here. There's the interference. You can't touch him there. That's the first time. And here's the other one. You can see it a lot better now. You see his right arm is on his arm. There's where they're caught. You see the official throwing the flag. Now on the other side, on the touchdown, watch his right arm again. He's grabbing him. Now he's got his left arm in. He grabs him there. He's holding his arm. That's pass interference again. This time they don't call it. Why, I don't know.
Didn't want to destroy the drama, but sensational one-handed catch. The Steelers down 21-3. O'Donnell flying down, drills it to Thigpen out at the 24-yard line. We'll check the penalty. Roger Jones on the coverage of Thigpen. This one against Pittsburgh. It's all downhill for the Steelers.
Illegal use of hands, hands to the face, number 63 offense. Half the distance to the goal line, first down.
Body does. Well, something the Steelers have had trouble with this year is penalties. Look at that, second in the league. Offensive line penalties, 28. Of course, a lot of those are holding penalties, which are the biggest drive stoppers in the NFL besides turnovers, of course.
Half the distance on the penalty amounts to a 6-yard penalty. First and 16 at the 6. Trailing 21-3. 11 minutes left in the second quarter. Van Morris is in the game. That was John L. Williams in motion, and O'Donnell from his own end just does get it away as he is hit hard. Completes it out to the 9-yard line. Steve Tovar makes the tackle on John L. Williams.
When you're in a situation so like this, let me ask you a question quickly. Shouldn't you be throwing shorter passes than to try to get these long passes downfield?
Well, I think the idea right here was to try to hit the tight end, hit a little seam right there. But the Bengals do a good job of being soft for the defense. And right here you see McDonald coming in and putting the hit on Neil O'Donnell just before or just after he gets rid of him.
They get forward progress to the 10-yard line where it'll be second down and 12. Tackled by Roger Jones. Greg Gumbel has a report elsewhere in the NFL. The equipment change. Harbaugh 11 for 12 off the opening bell. This crowd on its feet for the defense as O'Donnell looks at third down and 6. He has Cordell Stewart, one of 5 wideouts. Under pressure. Completed the 22, first down. No, I don't believe it'll depend on the spot, and now they're going to give it at the 23. That'll be close.
Boy, is this a dangerous pass. I mean, you're throwing all the way across the field, Phil.
I'm holding my breath up here because I say it's either going to be intercepted, the receiver's going to get hurt, I don't know what, but they're trying to throw a short pass here again. The Bengals on defense do a good job, and watch O'Donnell back across the field, throws it high. Ernie Mills goes up, makes a good catch while getting hit. While
During.
Whatever. During on you too low.
During.
Leonard Wheeler made the hit. First down for O'Donnell to the sideline for Thigpen. Inbounds, yes. Down at the 36-yard line, another Pittsburgh first down.
You know, Dick, this is one of the things. I don't understand why they're not going to go to Thigpen on the outside on Rod Jones. Rod Jones, first time back, really back. He hasn't played that much. He's been injured. And here he is working one-on-one on the outside. He's had that matchup most of this game. And you've got to go take advantage of it.
Well, I think they're going to. Down 21-3. You can forget about that Steeler running game. They're going to do, I think, what they thought they could do anyway come this game is throw the ball in this Bengal defense.
Stewart in the slot left in the 3 wide. And to give to Morris. And Van charges his way into Cincinnati territory all the way to the 43. Darrell Williams finally wrote him down.
I got to ask a question, Dick. When are they going to forget about that run?
There's a draw play.
That's a running play.
Draw plays come in like the package of the pass.
Oh, okay.
The change-ups.
I'm just checking you out.
But good job by Van Morris right there waiting. I tell you, it took a long time. He let the offensive line push the defensive line of the Bengals before he made his decision. Good patience by Van Morris.
Was he big? Well, it takes him a little while to get started.
It's like a guard out there carrying the ball.
Checks in at 235, 6 feet tall is Morris. O'Donnell, pump fake, goes for 6.
Was that Corey Sawyer he froze?
I think it was. Just a wonderful job by Neil O'Donnell. Watch Neil O'Donnell right here. He's going to make the quick pump fake to the right. Corey Sawyer, the defensive back, comes up and a perfect throw over the top to Ernie Mills for the touchdown.
Yes, Sawyer's a gambler, and they got him to bite. 21-9 as Mills has his 4th touchdown of the season as Neil O'Donnell connects. Norm Johnson for the extra point. To Mills, and the defense says we're right back in it.
Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. By Compact Computer Corporation. By Baked Tostitos. You got Tostitos, you got a party. And by the all-new Ford Taurus. A look you've never seen from a name you know well.
Back at Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati, where the Bengals lead reduced to 21-10. Impressive drive by the Steelers. Norm Johnson kicks it off. Dunn and Hill are back. It is Hill, Jeff Hill to the 20. And struck down at the 26-yard line. 7:07 remaining in the opening half. The hazards of playing cornerback in the NFL.
Look at Ernie Mills on the outside right here. Couple stutter steps, great patience by Ernie Mills, selling the play. That's the reason why Corey Sawyer, aggressive corner as he is, fights for that move.
There's another main reason why that whole thing happened, too. I'll tell you, that offensive line on that particular play gave Neil O'Donnell all the time he wanted to make that pump fake into the outside because there wasn't a Bengal even close to him.
Longest touchdown pass of the year for Bill Cowher's Steelers, 42 yards. Earl Green on first down, and he's smothered after a yard advance.
This is what I'm talking about, Dick. When you take a look at this offensive line, look along here and watch when Neil O'Donnell steps back and pumps fakes and see how many dark jerseys are near him. Here they come. They're at the line of scrimmage. They're at the 45. Look at the room he has to throw the football. That's just outstanding blocking by an offensive line.
2nd down and 8 for the Bengals. Darnay Scott to the right. Tony McGee, the tight end, split away on the left side. Give it to Green. And Green runs through tackles to the 42. Finally dragged down by Brenson Buckner.
Yeah, but Dick, you know the guy you're talking about, Rootin' Tootin'? Watch Rootin' Tootin', 61 on the end of the line. Watch what he does. He takes Green and everyone else down in the middle. That is open, folks.
Yeah, that's a change for Kevin Green. He's used to going against tight ends, and now you put in a guy that's about 6'7", 300 pounds who can move. That's a little tougher to get away from him.
Greg Lloyd, finally 95, hustling from the offside to make the tackle. First down at the 42. 21-10, the Bengals lead. Blake goes long. It's stopped. Incomplete, and a flag on Carnell Lake. It was Almoyd Mays who was burned in the first game at Three Rivers Stadium when Cincinnati won 27-9, and that forced Bill Cowher to make the change. Carnell Lake over to corner.
37 defense. Defensive pass interference.
I tell you, Dick, the thing that really makes this, Jeff Blake hangs the ball in the air so long that if you're a corner, even if you practice against this, you're just not used to seeing it in games. It's hard to react normally to it, and it was up there forever. And Carnell says it's got to be coming down sometime, and he makes a reaction before it gets there.
You know, I gave credit the last time to Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line. This time the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line did a great job. The blitz was on, and Blake had all the time he wanted to throw the ball.
Look at that penalty yardage, 87 marked off against the Steelers. All big interference calls. Up the middle goes Jeff Coffin, who rarely gets a chance to carry the ball. Only 60 yards rushing all year. Now, Phil, that's a good point. I watched you marvel at how much air he puts on the ball. Jeff Blake.
There's two techniques that I think enable Jeff Blake to throw the deep ball so well. The first technique, the front leg, the left one for him. He keeps it slightly bent, which enables him, when he's throwing the ball deep, to rotate his body and to get everything into the throw.
So that little bend on that left leg, much like a pitcher leaning into his delivery. To the outside, and Scott, a tough grab, and out of bounds at the 10-yard line, short of the first down. What else about Blake does Sim study?
The second technique, which is the hardest of all, think about it. If your quarterback looking up in the air, the weight goes to your back foot. Now when you go forward, it's hard to get your upper body over to the top of that front leg to get the ball to go forward. So one thing he does very well, he pushes, throws the upper body over the top and rotates his shoulders. That's the reason why he's able to throw it so high and soft.
9 in a row for Blake, short and long. Third down. 8-7 for the first. And complete to Tony McGee, the tight end. Covered by Chris Holden. So the field goal unit comes on for Cincinnati.
Good job right there by the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. They got flooded to one side, 3 receivers. They made a good adjustment to it. They all stayed behind the first down yardage marker and reacted up once the ball was thrown.
Lee Johnson will hold just inside the 18, so a 28-yard attempt. Officially 27. And Pelfrey knocks it through. 24-10, Cincinnati. 4.5 minutes left before the intermission. 8,000 at Riverfront on a glorious football day. Temperature up 45, 48 degrees. 24-10. Cincinnati's lead is Pelfrey, a short gift to Ernie Mills. Mills from the 14 to the 40 and dragged down from behind. Roger Jones got a piece of him along with Jeff Hill. 27 yards on the return. Carnell Lake, when he came off, Rod Woodson, the all-pro cornerback, injured with a hat, offering some advice as well as empathy. And then Bill Cowher also talking with his cornerbacks, Williams and Lake.
Well, you know, Phil made a great point, though, Dick. I mean, you can talk to him all you want, but you better give him some help. Give him another guy out there to help him. I mean, he can't do this by himself.
Singled up on Darnay Scott. His hands-full assignment, and as good as Lake is, he's had his problems. Johnson in motion, and the roll O'Donnell. Over the middle to the tight end Bruner, and Bruner with the first down at the Cincinnati 45.
You know, Phil, I'm looking, and you've got to understand that you have Yancey Thigpen one-on-one on Rod Jones. You've got to start throwing the ball back over there.
Yeah, and right here, you're right, Paul. You go in this kind of play, his first read is really outside, but Neil O'Donnell must think something. He sees the over pursuit, but the defense turns and throws it back inside.
This developing into really a high-scoring affair, the way each team moving the ball at will. O'Donnell to the sideline. Thigpen, what a catch. At the 39.
That was all Thigpen. But I mean, he's open. Thigpen is wide open on this side on Rod Jones. I mean, there's no reason why you can't work here all day long. You don't have to be going all over the place. Here comes Yancey Thigpen. Look at this. He is open. But watch the catch he makes. Bam. That's nice.
Paul, another good point. That was a route the Steelers love to run, just those 12-yard outs on each side. And Neil O'Donnell should be looking over here right away as he's dropping back. And I think Neil, he says good catch right there, but he's got to get back there and just deliver it on time outside.
Reverse. No, a fake reverse, and then O'Donnell lobs it out there for Moore. It's incomplete. And Moore's got a hand on it. Flag down.
Legal man downfield. What else could go wrong for Pittsburgh? You know, between Monday night and this game here, they've covered about every penalty there is, haven't they?
Yeah.
I mean, huh? They've made every mistake you could possibly make.
They're moving on 100 yards.
Illegal man downfield on a pass, number 72. That's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
I tell you what's really impressive. Friday at practice, though, the Bengals must have went over these type of plays for like 20 minutes, and that exact same play they ran a couple times. John Hill coming out of the field, going deep on a fake reverse, and they were all over it right there.
Brings up second down and 9 at the 44-yard line. Walker, the safety, to deny Mark Bruner.
Right here, the Bengals playing aggressive man coverage on all the receivers. You see Bracey Walker right there. The ball looked like it was tipped at the line of scrimmage, but Bracey Walker was right there to make the stop. And number 58, Steve Tovar, is the one that tipped the ball.
3rd and 9. Deep down the middle, Johnson. He hangs on, the first down at the 12.
Bracey Walker, and he got a flag on the play. Bracey Walker, you talk about a hit.
32-yard play.
Offside. Offside. Defensive right tackle lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty will be declined. First down.
You think Charles Johnson isn't tough? Now, I'm going to tell you something. Watch this hit. Catches the ball. Here it comes. Bam! There's the hit. I mean, it knocked his head sideways by Bracey Walker, and what a catch by Charles Johnson.
Charles Johnson split the zone coverage by the Bengals, the two safeties, and you're right. Wow. Bracey Walker, about a 20-yard head start, comes over. He's right here. Charles Johnson juggling the ball, pulls it in at the last second, and still able to hold on to it.
First down outside the 11. O'Donnell underneath to Bruner. Tackled immediately by Roger Jones at the 4.
That was an old-fashioned neck snapper. But I'll tell you what, you know, we forgot about the one important thing, where Neil O'Donnell put the ball. I mean, that was between 3 guys, man. That was perfect.
I mean, here, we did this same team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, a couple weeks ago, Paul. We saw how well Neil O'Donnell threw. Today, he's right back on track like he was 2 weeks ago, throwing the ball exceptionally well.
Trying to pull the Steelers within a touchdown. It's 24-10. Approaching the 2-minute warning. Van Morris to the 2. It sounded as if there's a whistle before the play. Flag down. Usually that's tough on the offense.
Prior to the snap, false start, right offensive guard, 5-yard penalty, second down.
And for the Steelers, as you look at this penalty, that's 97 yards in penalties in this first half.
Right there, Brendan Stein, number 68, just before the snap, trying to get these blocking Big Daddy. I don't blame him for trying to cheat a little.
The only problem is you got a guy standing right along that line of scrimmage, and if you move before the ball, he'll catch it. I mean, it's not one of those babies where you're hitting in there. You're sticking, even though you're in the middle of the line, you stick out like a sore thumb if you go forward.
Second down and 7 with 2 minutes and 8 seconds, clock running. Who pays the price? Bracey Walker with another big hit. Bracey Walker. He's had a big first half. 2-minute timeout. 7 seconds left in the half, and the Steelers looking for 7 here to cut Cincinnati's lead, and Neil O'Donnell with a call. And O'Donnell has had a big first half. This is the current drive, 5 for 6 in this drive, and he's 13 for 16 and a half.
I don't know if this means anything or not, Dick, but they can still get a first down if they get inside the 2-yard line. Cordell Stewart just came into the ballgame. They changed up on Cincinnati.
The Bengals were ready for it. They make 2 defensive changes, and perhaps too many people came off the field. The Bengals call time. Bengals now with 2 remaining. Pittsburgh has 1 left in the half. Gives us a chance to look ahead after the action of a very busy and exciting first half. At halftime, we'll send you back to New York for Greg and Mike Ditka. Yeah, it was a terrific interview, Ditka, with Jerry Jones, the Dallas Cowboys owner. Very frank, candid, and spirited. We all enjoyed it at this end. Joe Gibbs is in the studio as well on this Sunday to get you caught up on all the action from this 12th week. They're going to debate who's the best team in the NFL. That's coming up at halftime.
Can't wait to hear that guess.
Well, what's your guess?
I'm telling you, I don't know. I mean, we see, you know, we're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers, the number 2 defense in the National Football League. The Bengals, and they're running all over and passing all over this football team. Not only passing, but running. So, I mean, who is the best?
I don't know either. I mean, every time I think I have something figured out about this league this year, a game comes up, and like you say, Paul, even this game, such a surprise, and you know, Dallas has got to go out and reestablish themselves now. We all thought they were the best team in the league, but they got to reestablish against the Raiders
and Miami this week.
Yeah. I'm going to roll out. I'm going to take a guess and rule out the Jets.
San Francisco.
I'm going to rule the Jets out.
Oh, okay.
You've always been a big Jets fan, Paul.
Yeah, I know.
Out of the shotgun. It's Stewart. Wants to throw. Looking for O'Donnell. He's covered. Stewart runs it. Nothing there. Ricardo McDonald made the hit. Well, the Bengals were ready for that. They tried to slip O'Donnell into the left flat. Uncovered, but Ricardo McDonald.
Hey, do you know who's covered Neil O'Donnell? Dick Copeland. The defensive end.
I tell you what, I thought Cordell Stewart should have thrown this ball. Believe it or not, Neil O'Donnell, I think, is open for the touchdown, and that's what they're telling him right now. You could throw it to the outside. There was nobody out there.
26-yard field goal attempt by Norm Johnson. He has one from 50, and this one about half the distance to make it 24-13. Cincinnati has a minute and 11 seconds to try to get more.
Well, I give credit to John Copeland. I mean, he's a defensive end, but he pulls off and covers.
You're right. He sees it. Here's Cordell Stewart. Watch. He's going to go across, and watch Neil O'Donnell come out here to the left trying to get the pass from Cordell Stewart. You see him right there? Oh, the defense is fooled. John Copeland comes out, but look at all this area he could have had to throw the ball outside. Should have taken the chance.
You know, I'm going to tell you something. You see where John Copeland came from to cover him? He was inside. He was not out on the defensive end. He was sitting inside. It gives you an idea about the speed of Copeland. I mean, it's incredible looking at this guy and the yardage that he covered. Wait. Here he is on the inside. There he is, right there. Watch him. He's on the inside. Sees him. Cordell Stewart trying to throw back, and then he makes the play on O'Donnell. But that was a nice play there.
A lot of ways you get rewarded on Monday after a game, and Copeland's hustle just distracted enough. He was close enough that that the young rookie quarterback Stewart just said, I better not take a chance.
That's right. All week in practice, I'm sure they ran that, and nobody was probably near the quarterback Neil O'Donnell. Today, a little different look. Cordell Stewart, like you said, he's young, doesn't adjust well to the different look.
24-13 as Johnson sends a low sailor down to Eric Bieniemy, former Charger. And fumbles the ball. A mad scramble at the 25 of Cincinnati.
Don't you love it? I love the guy that stands about Sadowski. Troy Sadowski's 87, stands about 10 yards away from the pile pointing. We get the ball, Cincinnati. Yeah. He's not even close to it.
This is maybe the hardest job for the referees, trying to pull these guys off the pile. But, you know, all the Bengal players now making points of pointing the other way, saying we have the ball.
Tested tenacity, and from the bottom of the pile, the Bengals say they've got it, and the officials say that first the hit. Boy, some good Darren Perry. Here's one of the star defenders on special teams.
Boy, what a job right there.
James Joseph, number 36, recovers for Cincinnati.
Able to take that ball in his right hand, and with all those Steelers flying on top of him, able somehow, I don't know how, to get the ball back to his body and keep possession.
You know, can I just say one more thing about Copeland before we let this thing go? That wasn't, I mean, you could tell O'Donnell was not his man. I mean, he was rushing the passer.
Absolutely.
You talk about a heads-up play to peel off and see a quarterback, they just go cover it.
Paul, the person who's always responsible for the quarterback in those situations is the backside defensive end, and that was not Copeland.
Well, look at this. With a minute and a second left in the half, the fans are going. They say, hey, we got the lead, 24-13. Why run out the clock here? Why not try to go? I think the fumble by Bieniemy was a sobering sight for Don Shula's son, David.
I think you're right there. They go, well, okay, let's just pull it in here a little. I'm not saying I agree with it. The way this offense has been going, you could have run maybe a play or two that were safe, and if you got a first down, then take a chance.
So another kneel down by Blake. That'll chew up the remaining seconds.
You know, Dick, the thing about Copeland, watch what he does. Now, I guarantee you that Neil O'Donnell is not his man, but he sees him. And he just says, I'm out of there. I'm back out here. Look at this guy. Watch this guy move.
Excellent job of being disciplined. He didn't over-pursue, and that's why he saw Neil O'Donnell sneak out and look at him. Yeah.
290 pounds.
I gotcha.
Number 1 pick from Alabama 2 years ago. So John Copeland could well have saved a touchdown. He certainly discouraged the attempt. As the first half comes to an end here at Riverfront, wow, there was plenty to enjoy. 24-13 will be to Cincinnati. Had the 1 turnover.
Well, the one thing they do not have up there is penalty yards. Pittsburgh has plenty of those. That's enabled the Bengals to get to 24 points. But I'm wondering what adjustments the Steeler defense is going to make to stop the Cincinnati offense.
Well, I don't know if it's so much stopping him. It's you've got to get to Blake. Somehow they've got to rush him a little bit, make him throw the ball a little bit sooner. Right now, Blake, he said to us, I'm unstoppable. If they do what they do up front, I'm unstoppable.
Yeah, but that's Russian roulette. You bring an extra defender there, and with that powerful arm of his, then you get somebody open for an easy stick.
I think what they might do is play a little safer, give Carnell Lake in the corners a little help, play what they call in the NFL the 2-deep zone, so you can double the wide receivers, take some pressure off outside and make them beat them with the running game or throwing the ball short inside.
The one thing that is quite apparent with the Bengals 4-6 in what we've seen the first half, and losing 5 of their 6 games by only 3 points, losing Kajana Carter, their number 1 draft pick out of Penn State, in the preseason. This is a team we're going to be talking a lot about in the near future, not this season.
I think you're right there, Dick.
Second half underway, and down it comes to Ernie Mills. Mills reverses. And is knocked out of bounds across the 25-yard line. Let's look at the quarterback comparison. Neil O'Donnell and Jeff Blake. Only 3 at the ground for O'Donnell and just 4 for Blake.
Well, there's 2 quarterbacks in this league. Don't get a lot of mention, but I tell you, this is not unfamiliar territory for them. They've both played solid all year long, and they're proven that they're good, accurate throwers.
The one thing about O'Donnell is you're not surprised with his numbers and Pittsburgh's numbers because you're playing against the worst defense in professional football. But I am a little surprised about Blake's numbers. He's doing a great job against the second-best defense in the game.
Blake waits his turn. First down at the 25 for the Steelers. Tight end Bruner in motion. And the give to Pegram. Block for a loss by John Copeland, the star from Alabama, with another big defensive play. Neil O'Donnell, by direction, his passes, he was 3 for 3 going to the left side. That's where Paul wants him to throw every time.
Yeah.
6 for 7 down the middle. And to the right, 4 for 6. Having his pickings no matter which way he wants to go. A loss of 2 by Pegram on first down, and Cordell Stewart comes in, slot to the right. Stewart in motion and into the pattern, and they throw to him. Stepped out back at the 37-yard line. First down, Pittsburgh. 14 on the play.
You're right, Dick. I mean, that is talent. And what he catches the football and just turns it up the field just like a proven veteran wide receiver in the NFL. And Paul, you were talking to me before the game. You watched him warm up catching the ball.
Well, look at his hands. He's got such great hands. He looks the ball in. Nothing really bothers him. He steps out right there. The official's right on it. But, I mean, his hands dick it to begin. We were watching him warm up. He was catching and throwing the ball. But his hands are so great, so soft. He'll be a great receiver. I'm sorry.
Said he never played receiver, even high school or down in Little League football. Screen it to Pegram. Bengals waiting for that. Pegram slips out of the tackle, however, and fumbles the ball. Picked up by Gracie Walker of Cincinnati. Bengals have it inside the 35. Gracie Walker has been the defensive star for Cincinnati.
How many times do you see a guy fumble the ball when he's trying to make something extra happen? Now here's the play. He's trying to make something extra happen. Copeland reaches in, knocks the ball out. Walker picks it up. I mean, this is just, I don't blame Pegram for this. I mean, he's trying to do something. They're behind. But You've got to control that football.
Good job of preparation by the Bengals right there. They worked hard on stopping the screen plays of the Steelers offense, something that hurt them the last time they played. Right there, they were all over it. That's one of the reasons why they caused the fumble.
Second turnover, both coughed up by the Steelers, and credit Copeland with a hit. Blake to throw. Underneath to the tight end McGee, and Tony McGee with his first catch today. Kirkland and Brown, two linebackers, collaborate on the tackle for the Steelers.
It's a good job right there. You see Eric Pegram there trying to get some words of encouragement from his teammates,
but he's one of those guys that he doesn't get discouraged. When you sit there talk about a relaxed guy, like most of these young guys are today, they're very relaxed about what's going on.
On second down, the fake to Green. No, he does have it. Green trying to get outside, and he has to swallow a loss back at the 33. It's Kevin Green and LaVon Kirkland there to apply the punishment.
Ray Seals makes a play. Henry makes a play by the defensive line. They force Green to go back to the outside, and there's no place to go.
It's an odd-looking play, wasn't it?
I did not know who had the football, so if it was, I don't know if it was supposed to be a flea flicker to get you back or what, but it fooled me sitting up here, and I could see all the players.
Yeah, he took the handoff and then kind of stopped half-turned as if he was going to lateral back to Blake. Third down, almost 10. Blake guns it, complete to Pickens. At the 20-yard line, it'll be a first down. Dion Figures on the coverage, and Blake, good low throw where he protected his receiver.
Perfect throw right here by Jeff Blake. Carl Pickens going inside, and he throws it the safest spot, low and down to the inside, enables his receiver to slide in there and make the catch. Dion Figures had good coverage, but you can't get in front of that to knock it down.
7 catches, 107 yards for Pickens. He's on his way to the Pro Bowl for the first time. What a season. Draw play whistle before the snap as this will be called back.
One thing I said at the halftime, we're talking,
False start prior to the snap. Number 77, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Dick, is even though Blake is taking the short drops, Phil, but you've got to get in his face. You've got to get some kind of penetration. This offensive line of the Cincinnati Bengals, they have done a tremendous job just keeping this guy where he can throw into the lanes and do whatever he wants to do. They're not even getting close.
And a lot of people so far this season, they've been complaining about the Bengal offensive line not doing the job on the run and really not protecting their quarterback, Jeff Blake, well enough. But today they've done a wonderful job.
And that secret weapon back in for Cincinnati, Melvin Tootin. And the Bengals are forced to spend a timeout. 11 minutes plus left in the third.
The local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. By HP Printers and HP Printer Fax Copiers for home and small business. Products you can depend on. By American Express. And by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We are driving excitement.
Welcome back. First down for the Bengals at the Pittsburgh 25 after the fumble recovery. Blake, second option, is out in the flat. He completes it to McGee. And Tony McGee, who played at the University of Michigan, to about the 17-yard line. Willie Williams in on the tackle. This is a obviously very young rebuild team by Dave Shula. Most all of the numbers, when you look in the age column, 24, 25, 26, a flag down on that last play.
That was in the secondary.
Pickens is 25, McGee is 24, Scott is 23. The three main targets for Blake, who's only 24. Harold Green is an old man. He's 27.
Illegal contact, number 37 defense. That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot and a first down.
This game is becoming a nightmare for Carnell Lake.
Well, what they were doing there, Dick, they were trying to take advantage of him once again. They had a out and up trying to go for the touchdown. Here you're going to see Carnell Lake right there. Watch the receiver try to fake him and go for the touchdown right here. He reached the quarterback. He's pulled. He reaches out and grabs. That's the penalty.
I guarantee you, Carnell Lake, stand it right here. Here's where he grabs Darnay Scott. He can't wait till 4 o'clock. You know what? This may be over by then. He can go home.
He's such an outstanding player to have a game where he's really been stripped.
But
he's bare.
That's right, but I admire the Bengals. When you get a corner in this situation, keep going after him. Make him keep guessing. That's what they're doing.
First down on the penalty at the 20. Blake guns it. Complete to McGee. Touchdown! 20 yards on the pass. A rifle shot to Tony McGee, and Jeff Blake has repeated his effort in game 1 against the Steelers. The hat trick, 3 touchdown passes for Blake. Pelfrey makes it 31-13. So the fumble by Pegram, recovered at the Pittsburgh 32, leads to the touchdown.
Well, what we're going to see right here is the strength of Jeff Blake's arm. Perfect ball between the defenders, between both safeties. Right here, the only spot that he can stick in the heart of Tony McGee. He catches it and able to score the touchdown.
One thing about it, you showed how he throws the ball up in the air with air under it. This got wind below it, boy. This baby was humming.
23rd touchdown pass of the season for Jeff Blake. 3 today, and back to 31-13 Cincinnati. Tony McGee, he leads all NFL tight ends in yardage. He gets his 3rd touchdown today as the kick comes down to Ernie Mills. And he has been dangerous on every return today, all the way to the 39 before Roger Jones can make the tackle. Here's the culmination, 33 yards and 4 plays.
Let's be the quarterback right here. Here's Darnay Scott. He's going to come underneath. Tony McGee, the tight end, is going to go up here and run the in cut. Watch how the coverage of the Steelers, it's really there. It's just a good throw by Jeff Blake and a good job by Tony McGee catching the ball in traffic and scoring a touchdown.
But it all started with Pegram's fumble right here by Copeland's tackle.
Walker recovering, and now it's the Steelers. Been playing catch-up all day. O'Donnell deep down the middle. Way too tall for Ernie Mills. Flag comes down. I'm surprised that they didn't rule that an uncatchable ball. That was way over the head of Mills.
You know, they're going to talk it over. Now, maybe that was uncatchable, but you still can't hit the guy before the ball gets there. The one thing about this, you know, if he is not touched, if he could have, who is to judge whether a ball's uncatchable or not? I can understand if you're throwing this baby out of bounds.
Defensive pass interference.
You bet.
Number 24, first down.
See, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know how an official could say, maybe he's raking on the ball. He'd have been able to go upfield. If it's thrown out of bounds, I can understand it. But here's where the contact is right here.
Yeah.
That's contact.
Jones impedes the progress of Ernie Mills, the receiver right there, and that is a penalty down the field. And if nothing else, it would be an illegal chuck down the field. So one way or another, that has to be a penalty.
And a first down at the Cincinnati 42. Down at the 39 by Roger Jones.
That's what Phil said. He said Jones. I got Roger.
I got Roger Jones in one corner and Rod Jones at the other. And we talked to Rod, and he said, I like Roger, but he gets my checks. He says, I don't like it when I find out my checks are in his box.
I think when we said that implies that he must make more money or something, and he was getting a small of the 2 checks. I don't know.
Rod, the veteran from SMU, 25, and Roger, the 50-year corner from Tennessee State. Circus catch. Roger Jones was the closest black jersey.
Now, see, there's the difference. So you're talking about, I mean, how can someone say the ball is not catchable? Look where Thigpen has to go to get this ball. Now, he is way, way up in here, and that is Roger Jones. But, I mean, look how high he is.
Well, you're right, Paul. I mean, standing up here, as soon as Neil O'Donnell lets his ball go, I said, well, this is way overthrown, and Yancey Thigpen gets up there and gets both hands on it, just not able to bring it down.
Trailing 31-13, O'Donnell and the Steelers need a score here, though it's early in the third. Third down, 7. O'Donnell flushed out, throws it away. Charlie Johnson was the closest. A flag down on the far side of the field. Holding against Cincinnati, a hesitant call from McElwee. And does that mean there's another call?
We have offsetting fouls. Illegal contact, 23 defense, offensive holding, offense. The foul's offset. Replay the down. Third down.
I love that. Offensive holding on the offense.
That's right. I guess they were all holding. I don't know.
Bobby McElwee. Bobby, who was it?
Well, Corey Sawyer was the Bengal ticketed on the far side of the field.
Well, look at Justin Strells at the left tackle here for the Steelers. I think he's the one that gets called for holding right here, and if it is him, this is not a good call. He sticks out his right hand right there and really just pushes him around.
That was not a good call. Now the bump over on the other side. There it is, Corey Sawyer. And that's on Thigpen. I don't like either one of them, to be honest with you.
They play it over, 3rd and 7.
Here they come.
O'Donnell finds Mills on a first down at the 21.
Now, this is what Neil O'Donnell said to us yesterday. If we spread these guys out and they send a blitz, we're going to have a man open, and it's up to me to find that guy. That's Mills. Now, when you see what happens is this whole thing is open up. Here comes Mills.
You're right. When they blitz, you're going to get man coverage in the secondary. Ernie Mills, all he does is just run down there and hook up.
Look who's in on the tackle. Look who's in on the tackle. Copeland.
Copeland.
Where did he come from? That was 20 yards downfield.
Covering the quarterback's got him excited.
He likes that coverage.
Ball up to 21, first down, Pittsburgh. Cordell Stewart in motion. The snap. And it's Yancey Thigpen with yet another catch. And close to a first down, almost 10 on the play.
Where are they throwing the ball? To the left-hand side. I got the left. You got the right. He's only missed one on the right, but he hasn't missed any on the left-hand side. He being Neil O'Donnell.
See the other scores going through. Vinny Testaverde quarterbacking now for the Browns against Green Bay. Wonder how many folks they have up there at Cleveland Stadium.
There were 11, I think, at halftime.
While they're measuring here, I'd like to make a little editorial comment.
Right.
I know the history of the NFL with franchise moves. The nickname of the team goes with the move. I think here's a case in point. If I were Art Modell, and I wouldn't want to be, frankly, at this point, but if I were, I'd say, hey, the Browns Cleveland owns that nickname. The Browns stay in Cleveland. I'm not sure Baltimore wants the Browns as their nickname anyway. Why not leave the Browns there? And if indeed in the future there's another franchise there, they have an option of taking up Browns as the nickname.
Now, something else you said yesterday, you carried that on. You said, how about the Colts in Indianapolis give up the Colt name and give themselves another name? That Colts should stay in Baltimore.
Now it gets complicated, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Second
Way to go,
down.
Paul.
Thank you. I'm just trying to help out.
Second down and 1. Pegram has the first down and more as he's inside the 7-yard line.
Why is it when we do a Pittsburgh Steelers game, Dick, we get offense? We read their number 2 defensive team. We go to Chicago a couple weeks ago, and they win the overtime 34-34. Here we are here in Cincinnati, almost 8 minutes to go, and this score is incredible. It's 31-13. I mean, and they're getting ready to score. This is what happened to the defenses?
Yeah.
Ron Earhart, the offensive brain trust for the Steelers. Your former coordinator, Phil Simms, in New York.
Well, this is not unfamiliar territory for Ron Earhart. Back in the mid-'80s, we were a passing team. He likes, to be honest, he likes his style of offense.
Pittsburgh spends a timeout. 7:29 remaining in the third.
The reason that Pittsburgh took timeout right here, Justin Strozak is uncovered. He's a offensive lineman, and he has to report. He didn't. They see it, and they call timeout. They have too many guys to the right over here on this side. They got to get this guy covered.
First and goal just outside the 5 as Rod Jones held back to the Cincinnati locker room. Pegram. He starts him up, but he cuts back into the 1-yard line. Swarm of Bengal tacklers. Andre Collins, who is playing for the injured James Francis. Francis with a broken leg in the first half.
Good job by Eric Pegram, having patience, waiting before he cuts up. You see Tom Newberry, number 66, pulling around, doing a good job of blocking. Pegram sees it kicked out, cuts inside, gets it down to the 1-yard line.
Francis already with a cast on that lower left leg. This season, finite. Morrison on second and goal. He gets the ball and Morris with a touchdown. Listen to the Steeler fans. Morris with his 5th touchdown of the season.
Well, Bam Morris here, you're going to see just a power play right over the middle. If it's clogged up, he's going to jump over the top. Something he does there. When you're that big, it's hard to stop that once he jumps in the air if you're a defensive back.
Well, the nice thing is John L. Williams, though, he got in. He made a nice block right at the point of attack that enabled Bam to go up over top of him.
With 6:46 left in the 3rd quarter, the extra point by Norm Johnson, and the lead is back to 11. 31-20, Cincinnati. 36 left in the 3rd, on our way to Tempe, Arizona, and Super Bowl 30, and still considerable debate as to the favorites for that final big game. Here, 31-20 as the Steelers kick it off. And David Dunn on the return by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dante Jones, who leads the Steelers, 54 in special teams tackles, first to make the hit, flag down.
I'm going to tell you something. That's got to hurt with like Dante Jones coming in. When you have like a 25-yard head start and you see that guy sitting up there, he's lined up, and then just drop him with all you have.
Well, you know, you talk about have a young family and you like to go to the movies, be able to take all the kids, the whole family enjoy. Look at this lineup for you on this Thanksgiving weekend coming up. 4 for the entire family. Home Alone Thanksgiving night, Thursday night. Mighty Ducks on Friday. Dennis the Menace Saturday night. And the big hit Jurassic Park on Sunday. Now, how do you beat that? All free. Everything's free. NBC. You get to watch all those.
Yeah, that's
you get to watch all those movies.
You love that free. You love that free, huh? I'll tell you what. That's why I am the way I am today. That Home Alone. I spend a lot of time alone.
And we can understand that.
There you go. That's right. We can understand that.
Thank you.
Deep in their own end after the penalty. Play comes out incomplete. Intended for Darnay Scott. Well, we saw how O'Donnell threw the ball by direction. Let's see where Blake's preferences rest. Deep.
I think so.
Oh, left again.
And that's a couple pass interferences on that side, too, that could have been resulting in catches. Well,
pretty good numbers, huh?
See, I like to see right-handed quarterbacks throw the ball to the left. I like that.
Harold Pickens having another big afternoon for Cincinnati. Hustling out of the pocket. Scrambles to the 20. Kevin Green chasing him. No penalty at the 21. Well, Green had his sights set on Blake all the way. He was blocked inside. Blake curled away, and Green never gave up on the play.
Well, here's the problem right here. The Steelers are going to blitz. LeVon Kirkland comes in unblocked, but a mobile quarterback like Jeff Blake, well, he just runs outside and just picks up about 10 yards on his own.
Yeah, but the thing about it is Kevin Green, though, with a blitzer Kirkland coming inside, he has to stay outside. He allowed Blake to get out around the outside. That's his fault.
3rd down and 3. And was this a sneak or a
this was
snap that went awry?
Supposed to be a sneak, and I'll tell you something. You talk about filling the hole. That defense read it and came. Blake never had a chance.
Good job of the Steelers right there. Cincinnati trying to come out and catch him off guard. Take the snap real quick, and Jeff Blake is trying to shoot up into this hole before the Steelers can react, but the Steelers were ready for it, reacted very, very well, and make the stop.
So Pittsburgh, with plenty of time, 5.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, trailing by 11, will get the ball in good field position as Ernie Mills drifts back to the 40-yard line. Or make it Andre Hastings on the punt return. Hastings taking one back for a touchdown this year. Johnson to kick. Used to kick barefooted, remember? Couple of southpaw kickers in this. Wow. He root this one. Oh, my. Look at this. Bounces out of bounds at the 17-yard line. And we look forward forward to visiting with you on Thanksgiving holiday from Dallas, the Chiefs. And just as I said, Steelers will get good field position, 60-yard kick by Johnson, and Pittsburgh starts at the 17.
I'll tell you, the thing that sticks out in my mind, though, in years past, and maybe even last year, the Steelers fall behind, give up 31 points so far in a game, but still, because of their new offense and the way they move the ball, they're still in this football game.
I think the key to it was this was the first series of downs, Dick, that they finally got even close to Blake.
So from the 17, O'Donnell took his team downfield with very little resistance last time. Goes deep down the middle to Bruner, incomplete. Bruner's coverage from Ricardo McDonald. A late fly goes in, and I think it's going to be on McDonald.
You know, these officials, somewhere along the line, you got to let them play.
Defensive pass interference, number 56. First down.
The thing about it is, after 5 yards, you can't touch him.
Well, you're going to see Mark Bruner running right down the middle of the field, and yes, you can see McDonald with his left hand had a hold of him, pulling that jersey, and that might be a penalty there, Paul. I'm sorry.
Right hand, left hand, both hands.
You got everything working, but the one thing so far that worries me, that's about the fourth high ball that I've seen from Neil O'Donnell so far in the second half.
First down at the 33 on the penalty, and the flag down again. Yeah, you're going to have to get out the Tide after this one and put it through the wash and rinse cycle, those yellow flags.
It's a tight end Bruner this time moving. Boy, it's good. I mean, you got something going. That'll drive a coach absolutely nuts. You're struggling and you're struggling through the day, and then you got a few things moving. You go down, you score, you stop the offense, and now you're making some stupid mistakes.
107 yards against Cowher's Steelers today by penalty. Cordell Stewart is in. He's the slot right. He's really played a lot today. They go the other way. Complete to Mills. He bobbled it out of bounds. Incomplete is the call. Into that Cincinnati bench, and I would guess there was a few voices to help out the call.
Here's the question: does he have control of the ball when he goes out of bounds? Here it is. Mills, does he have it? Yes, he does. Now, the other official came in and said, "Hey,
hold it." I think, does he get both feet down?
Yes.
Yes, he's got him down.
He's got him down. Now, Sawyer makes a great play. There's no question about that.
Watch Neil O'Donnell right here. He sees it. And a little later, he's going to point up to the board, and they show the replay and it's telling the official, look, he did catch the football.
Ball's going to stand. Greg Lloyd from the other side of the field. Yeah, you get in one of those moods here that the Steelers have been penalized so much, you almost say, oh, they're against us today. Everything's going against us, and then you help create the problem yourself. Two safeties finally got him off the field of play. 18 yards for Byron Bam Morris.
You know who makes a good play on this play on the outside is Mills. Ernie Mills gets down and he blocks Walker, but he only gets a little piece of it. That's all he has to do. Mills is going to come in motion. Bottom of your screen. See him right here? He's just going to get a tiny piece of Walker and keep him from getting back to the outside, number 27, to get Morris, 33.
And Walker comes limp. Bracy Walker limps off. After making the tackle, they've lost Rod Jones with a dislocated thumb and James Francis with a broken leg. The Bengal defense today. O'Donnell underneath the front. Tackled immediately by Steve Tovar, who leads the Bengals in tackles as he did a year ago.
Did you see? I was just watching Thigpen. I didn't watch anybody else on the play, but he went between the two defenders. All Neil O'Donnell had to do was throw the little pump fake, and he had that man, 82, for a touchdown.
Ball at the 47 of Cincinnati. Second down and long 3, short 4. Broad at once. He's big and lands his way to the 38. First down, Pittsburgh. This may come down to who gets the ball last.
Boy, good job by Bam Morris right there. Again, showing good patience, waiting to the line. Watch right here. The line takes a while to open up the hole. You see it, they get there. He sees it to his left. He goes through it, but he's big. and strong and is able to break the tackle to pick up the first down.
Really hasn't played much the last month and a half, Bam Morris, as Pegram has taken over, but he's inserted today and has really contributed.
He's fresh. He wants to get in there and get that football, and the Steelers are doing a good job of keeping him in there now.
O'Donnell, pump fake, goes on for Thigpen. Off the field of play, incomplete. There's a bump over there as Leonard Wheeler for Rod Jones on the coverage.
Well, Yancey Thigpen at the end of that play gets on the ground. He's pointing his hand. He really fakes out the corner right there. Wheeler, number 37. If Neil O'Donnell just lays it out in front of him, it's going to be a touchdown.
Yeah, but the ball is thrown too far to the outside.
Lead the ball up the field, it would have been a touchdown. And look at Rod Woodson on the sideline. He knows it. He played corner. He saw the corner get beat right there. Should have been a touchdown.
Got one of those lemon-flavored hats.
Yeah.
2nd and 10. Deep down the middle. Complete to Thigpen. Another solid catch by a man who was picked up on waivers. He was with the Chargers a couple of years. Stuck behind Anthony Miller and let go. One of the mistakes made by San Diego.
But didn't they have number 10 open?
You're right, Paul. I know that's what you wanted to show. Watch Cordell Stewart go down, and Neil O'Donnell, I know this offense. That's his first read. He's a little impatient right there. Look at Cordell Stewart. He is open for the touchdown.
Oh, that was scary.
First down at the 19. Morris to the 15-yard line. 2nd and 6.
Dick, I'm getting the feeling, and you sit there and watch it like on a pass rush, they're not getting the defensive line. They're not getting that rush they had in the first half. And what's happening now, this offensive line of the Pittsburgh Steelers, it just looks like they have taken over against the defensive line. On the running plays, they're moving them out to 4 and 5 yards, and that's what you want on first down. And on the pass plays, they're not even getting close to Neil O'Donnell.
Well, Dave Shula said we've got some outstanding young players, but we don't have the depth yet. And as this game wears on, that's beginning to show. With the injury suffered especially on defense by the Bengals. 2nd and 6. O'Donnell. Incomplete to Thigpen. No flag.
Wow. Now, Paul, you talked about you got to let him play, but right there, it sure looks like Yancey Thigpen coming all the way across the field is hit by Darrell Williams, the safety. Watch in the middle of the field right here. Yancey Thigpen coming from the left. Boom, he's hit way before the ball gets there.
Oh, come on, you big sissy. No. Look at here it is now. Does he get hit before the ball gets there? I think so. You're absolutely right. What a call. Because they've thrown the ball down the middle many times. When they put 5 wide, is that where the vulnerable part is to the defense, in the middle of the field?
Well, that's right. What they're doing, they're just spreading the defense, Paul, and right there, really, the Bengals had the perfect coverage on, but that 5th wide receiver snuck down between the 2 deep safeties because of that set. That's why he got the wide open touchdown again.
2nd touchdown pass today for Neil O'Donnell. They're going to go for 2 here with 31-26, trying to cut the lead, if successful, to a field goal advantage, Cincinnati.
Cordell Stewart's in the backfield. Look for maybe a little option.
It's given to Stewart. The option to Pegram. It is good for the 2.
I'm going to tell you something. You've got to love this kind of football. The Bengals take the opening kickoff and they throw it back on a lateral back across the field to open this thing up. And now this guy, Cordell Stewart, he can do it all, folks.
Watch Cordell Stewart in this play. They've done everything. He's a receiver. He's run with the football. He throws it. Here he is. He's going to take the handoff and just go down the line. The defense, of course, is going to run towards him. He always has the ball in his hands in these situations, pitches it out, and really just a good design by the Steeler offense.
I'll tell you, Pegram had a tough time getting into the end zone because Bracey Walker was there. But look at Pegram. Tucks that ball away and gets it. All he has to do is break the plane. That's 2 points.
You're right. Bill
yeah,
Cowher.
That's okay. I like that. That reaction there gets me, Dick. Yeah, I call that. That's my play. Yeah, I knew that was going to work.
Look at him.
Yeah, they smile softly at the offense, but when it comes to defense's turn, then they get a different look on their face.
Oh.
Yes. Hastings 15-yard on the touchdown from O'Donnell.
Oh.
And Pegram the 2-point conversion.
A little dance, a little spin of the helmet. That's some good dances today so far.
We still have 1 minute 39 seconds left in the third quarter.
I said at the beginning what nightmares this guy Cordell Stewart is going to give defensive coordinators. It's incredible.
Johnson to kick it off.
Nope. He's going to.
He faked him.
Flag goes down. Why not?
No foul. Reset the 25-second clock.
They just are used to throwing them no matter what happens. Go throw it anyway.
It's an instinct.
I'll tell you something. When they blow the whistle, Dick, you have 25 seconds in order to kick the ball off. And if you don't, it's a penalty.
That's what he was throwing it for because the clock ran down to 0. But
apparently it started too soon, the clock. Now down to 15-14. David Dunn and Eric Bieniemy for Cincinnati. It's Dunn up to the 11. Down at the 27, and flags and more flags fly. Jason Gilden made the tackle.
There has been some hitting on both sides in this ball game. I mean, these guys, you know, one of the things, Dick, is that when you look at it, the Pittsburgh Steelers win here.
On the return, we have holding on number 57 on the return team. And we have an illegal block on number 37. We'll decline the illegal block and accept the penalty for the holding.
One thing that Pittsburgh's looking at, Dick, is they look up at that scoreboard and they see that Green Bay's beating Cleveland. If they beat the Cincinnati Bengals, they go up 3 games on everybody in that division with 5 to play.
Here's Neil O'Donnell looking down. The safeties are split. Andre Hastings goes right between them, able to turn around and catch that ball in the back shoulder. Neil O'Donnell, Mike Tomczak coming out and congratulating him, saying, hey, Neil, that was a really good read, finding that guy that's wide open. And it is satisfying for a coach, a quarterback, and everybody to design something, a play like that on third down, and find the receiver wide open and complete that pass.
Well, O'Donnell and the Steelers have exposed the number 30th ranked defense last in the league here in the third quarter. And a lead that was once 31-13 is reduced to 3. Blake, incomplete to McGee.
Good job right there. The Steeler defense, we talked about it. Paul keeps saying you got to get some pressure. They collapsed the pocket a little. Didn't enable Jeff Blake to step up and throw the ball to the open receiver.
Here comes rootin' tootin'.
But watch Jeff Blake right here. You're going to see there's a wide open receiver down the field. It's Tony McGee, but the pressure by the defensive lineman, number 97, Ray Seals, is in there to put the pressure on him to keep him from completing the pass.
Backfield making his green in motion. Out to McGee, the tight end. Slicks the first tackle by Myron Bell, and Willie Williams comes over to make the stop short of the first down at the 26.
Almost a huge mistake by Bell. Now, they say that this guy will come up and stick you, but you got to make sure you have yourself under control. That time, when McGee catches the ball and Bell comes over, he's not under control to make the play. He should have made that tackle 4 more yards back down the field.
3rd and 2, and Cincinnati needs a first down here to regain some momentum. Right, last minute, third quarter. Same play to the other side, batted back. Jason Gilden and Ray Seals were in the backfield. The fly swatted right out of Blake's hands.
Ray Seals, number 97, is the guy that gets up and just knocks the ball down. That's your best defense.
That's right. When the other team's offense, Paul, is running these three-step drops and getting rid of the ball so quick, your defensive linemen have got to read that sometimes, get their hands up to knock that ball down.
So Lee Johnson, who rooted 161 yards the last time going this direction, to run Andre Hastings inside the 30.
Oh, another beauty.
High spiral. Hastings in trouble with it. Didn't call for the fair catch and is down with another flag at the 26-yard line. 46 yards on the punt by Johnson. That'll help that net. 61 yards, no return. 46 yards, no return.
Legal block.
Illegal block. Number 34. After the ball was kicked, the receiving team will keep the ball after the penalty for their foul. 10 yards.
So that'll move the Steelers 10 yards farther back toward their goal line. As we remind you that coming up right after our Cincinnati-Pittsburgh action, it's the conclusion of the Skills Challenge presented by Sun America. Peter Jacobson, what a 1995 year Jake enjoyed. One of the most popular guys in the game, and he's won this event 2 times. They try all the various skills. Santa in disguise. Nice. Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. I want a tricycle. I want an umbrella. I want a balloon.
You got that last year, Paul. Oh. From the 16, Steelers trail by only 3. Give it to Morris. Gain of about 5. And that should bring us to the end of the third quarter. Ricardo McDonald making the tackle.
Dick, I don't care. We saw Santa Claus down there. We also have him in our booth. He's back up here. I got my wishes in.
3-point game. And that has to only remind David Shula that he could well be 9-1 if he could have won those 3-point games. He's lost 5 this year. We'll be right back after these messages from our local station.
He thought
Bengals had things in command, 31-13 early in the third, but 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion has even Santa confused.
Santa, I'll tell you that. You want to talk about a magical guy? We get Santa in the stands, Santa up here. We got him everywhere. Now, the kids want to know about Santa Claus, why he's everywhere. He's everywhere, pal.
That's the spirit.
I want 2 tricycles, and I want
To the fourth quarter. Second down, and a short 5 for Neil O'Donnell and the Steelers at their 21. To the sideline, complete to Mills. First down at the 28. Well, in this second half, we've seen why the Bengals defense has allowed almost 400 yards a game, last in the league.
Dick, I promise you, Phil and I have already agreed.
Yes.
I promise you that they're going to throw the ball down the middle one time to Cordell Stewart because this guy looks like a racehorse. There's nobody even near him.
You know what it is? He's getting in the slot at those 3 receiver sets. The defense is playing zone, so nobody can account for him running right down the middle of the field.
There he is, slot left. There he goes. He's there.
Well, that's what happened up from upstairs. The Steeler coaches saw that weakness in the defense. They came right back with basically the same play. And Neil O'Donnell does a good job of looking the other way. Watch Neil O'Donnell. He's looking to his right. He waits. Now he looks for Cordell Stewart down the middle of the field and puts it right on the money. And this is a big man who can run, breaks the tackle for the touchdown.
He's holding that ball like I did in college. You see that on the side?
Yeah.
Didn't tuck it away. Wasn't that a great play?
Wow.
He's been open like 4 times down the middle. They had to see it eventually.
71 yards, Cordell Stewart's first career TD reception, and he is becoming an offensive force for Pittsburgh. The Steelers have the lead for the first time today. 35-31.
I mean, this thing has been open. Now look at, they just take it. They're basically leaving him a hole. He goes right down the middle of the field where he's supposed to go. Right down that hash mark. The pass was absolutely perfect. And I know I screamed go, but I'd like to see the young guy score a touchdown.
The new phenom, he's a new hero in the Steel City. Cordell Stewart, drafted in the second round, quarterback out of Colorado, never played wide receiver in his life. Now he wants to contribute, and he is doing more than that. He's become a player that you just have to reckon with as you defend and work your strategy each week. Now leading 35-31, 22 unanswered points. Nothing there for David Dunn, just barely across the 20, and Dante Jones, another special teams tackle.
Well, let's look at the touchdown. Here is Cordell Stewart. He's just going to go right up the field, but Sam Shade, the safety number 35 here, comes running up. I don't know the reason why. That's why nobody's deep in the middle of the field. Neil O'Donnell, excellent job of seeing that. Throws it down where Sam Shade should have been. That's why it's a touchdown.
You see, I'll tell you, the reason Sam Shade should not come up is because you had another guy to the outside of him that had Cordell Stewart short. So that put two guys on him short and left the back end open.
Green stop. Kevin Henry. The Bengals have allowed almost 400 yards a game, and it's over the 400 mark today.
This is why they're last in the league in defense in the National Football League. 429 yards. There's 14 minutes left to go.
And another Cincinnati injury, Scott Brumfield being helped off.
Call now and have Domino's deliver the ultimate deep dish pizza. Because when it's gotta be deep, it's gotta be Domino's.
Well, the second half started well for Cincinnati. A fumble recovery and then a Blake to McGee touchdown that made it 31-13. But 3 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion since. All for Pittsburgh. It brought out the terrible towels. And it's Cincinnati struggling. 2nd and 12. Out of the backfield to Green. Not much there. Across the 20 to the 21 where it'll be about 3rd and 10.
Dick, remember we were talking about Copeland being out in the pass receptions? Covering? You know who's just out there? Buckner, 96, the nose tackle, covering the back. I mean, these linemen don't want these backs and linebackers to do anything better than they are.
Well, Blake now needs a big play. Steeler defense has really steeled itself here in this 3rd quarter. Now the 4th.
Well, what happens right here is the Steeler defense does a good job down the field, playing zone, making Jeff Blake hold it just for a little bit longer. And right there, Preston Buckner pushes the pocket, pushes him back, and Jason Gilden makes the big hit.
Bengals fortunate that Sargent was nearby to fall on the loose ball, and now Johnson will have to kick out of his own end zone. 13 minutes plus remain, 4th quarter. Hastings at the 40. Johnson, flying spiral, flags down, and the ball sails very short to the sidelines and will be marked inside the Cincinnati 40. And just as everything went against Pittsburgh at first half and early into the second half, it's all gone the other way since. Cincinnati struggling. 31 yards on the punt, and now the flag.
Eric Bieniemy was pushed out of bounds. Now, it's the thing, I don't know whether it's a flag or not, or is it he just can't come back? What's this?
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
That's what it is.
Bengals.
Yeah, well, Bieniemy, once he's out of bounds, he's got to make an attempt to get back inbounds, Dick, and he didn't do that. At least I think that's what the call is, because you can't run down out of bounds without making an attempt to get back in. What happened? You stayed out of bounds too long. That's what happened.
If you're blocked out of bounds and you make a...
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 37 of the kicking team, running down out of bounds under the kick. That penalty will be declined. First down.
Leonard Wheeler guilty, but matters not as Pittsburgh takes over at the 39-yard line.
You can't see it right here. Here's Leonard Wheeler way up here top. But what happened is he got knocked out of bounds, and he ran about 15 yards in the white, and that is illegal. You must try to get back onto the playing surface as fast as you can. And the referees really look at it within a 5-yard framework, and he did not do that. That's why they threw the flag.
I'm sorry, Eric Bieniemy. You both were in the same area. I thought it was him, but it was the penalty, the correct penalty.
Oh, Neil O'Donnell on a run of 3 touchdown passes to match his counterpart Jeff Blake with a 4-point lead and great field position at the 39. Cordell Stewart is in there, so is Van Morris, and it's Morris plowing to the 35, gain of 4. Darrell Williams, the safety, makes the tackle.
You know, Dick, you talked about Cordell Stewart earlier, and when you called him Slash, how he smiled so much yesterday when we talked to him, and I got to wonder, the way he's catching this football, that Slash might be wide receiver slash quarterback.
Don't want to be too good.
That's right.
You know, Dick, the other thing, too, about 4 weeks ago when Bill Cowher said to his football team, we could be either 3-4 or we could start a brand new season and go the last 9 games. Well, if they win this one, they'll be 4-0 in their new season.
O'Donnell down in his thick pen. Out of bounds, pushed by Roger Jones. First down, Steelers at the 20.
Right here, the receiver, Yancey Thigpen, gets wide open because everybody's looking inside and worrying about Cordell Stewart running up the field again. Right there, you can see Roger Jones looking inside. Can't protect his outside. That's why it's an easy completion for Neil O'Donnell and Yancey Thigpen.
Now they got this defense sitting backfield. Now's the time to run at him. Just keep pushing him back and take some time off the clock and push him back into the end zone.
To another first down. Roger Jones finally got him to the carpet.
Bracey Walker's coming up livid. This is what I'm talking about. Now that you've got him back, just go ahead and pound away with that offensive line. You watch Van Morris. The blocking is just outstanding on the outside. Newberry gets out, and look at this. Here it comes back into the inside. And I don't know what happened to Bracey Walker because he wasn't in the play, but look at Pegram. He's doing a Sanford shuffle.
Second and 2. Yes. Not much resistance there on the Bengals side, and he's got first and goal at about the 3.
Well, Steve Tovar told us yesterday, he says, even though this is the new-look Steeler offense, he says the one thing he believes they still want to do, and they always like to do, is be bullies, run the ball straight at you, and that's what they're doing in this drive so far.
They mark it at the 4. You saw Tim Crumry send in a defender. The Bengal fans wish they had Crumry to send in there. Great player here for so many years. Hit in the backfield and falls 40-yard, and John Copeland, 92, got his 290 pounds in there early. He's been impressive. He leads the Bengals in sacks this year with 8. A forced fumble. Another today makes 2. Tough against the run was the call as he started Alabama, and they feel in many ways that he might even have been a better pick than Dan Big Daddy Wilkinson the way he's played.
Well, he's quite an impact player, and just talking to the Steeler coaches, that was probably the one guy in defense they thought and feared the most was John Copeland because he can play all aspects of the game.
Coach, a man that you on the sidelines because he's replaced you, and you're cheering just as hard for him as you would yourself as Pegram salutes Morris, his second score today.
I think you're right there. What you just said is one of the reasons why this team has turned it around. They found new team unity. Everybody's enthusiastic. They're into what they're doing. Cordell Stewart's brought in, got a package, and there you can see Bam Morris, 11 rushes for 84 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Unanswered touchdowns by the Steelers in the second half. 42-31.
I think the one thing about Bam Morris on this touchdown, all he did was basically leans right into the offensive line. Watch this. He'll lean in there, create a hole, and then bounce to the outside.
Beautiful. 29 consecutive points scored by the Steelers here in the second half. An 11-point lead, 9.5 to play. And it comes to David Dunn. Dunn to the 24, and that's it. Plenty of coverage from the special teams of the Steelers, Jones and Oldham. Been a long game, high scoring and long. Let's see, 1, 2, that's a 6-cup game. 6 of them. And if you're a Bengal fan, you got to go for more.
I'm going to tell you something. He's going to make my old beer drinking team.
Yeah, that's right. Second team, though, Paul. You know, he's got to do better than that, though.
Yeah,
Once again, you're
he has 6 cups in 3 hours. That's not enough, Bubba. There's not a happy group there, I can tell you.
Well, it's going to be up to the Bengal offense, apparently, to try to come up with some last quarter heroics and hope that the Bengals defense can finally stop Pittsburgh. It's been a sieve in the second half. Blake on the screen, but the enemy dropped for a loss of 1. Greg Lloyd made the play. First half, although Pittsburgh outgained Cincinnati, the Bengals left halftime with a 24-13 lead, and then the Steelers shutting down the Bengals second half. Another screen. And that's intercepted, I believe. Down in the middle was the big guy. Was that Buckner down in there? Or they go, nope.
Brenson Buckner.
Brenson Buckner trying to take it away from the enemy. Incomplete.
What's it, Monday night that they only gave up 10 yards to Cleveland in the second half of the ball game, and they've given up 37 yards to this team here.
Does that surprise you, Phil? They throw back-to-back screen plays, same
well,
play.
They're trying to take advantage of the Steelers being aggressive up front, but the one thing I've noticed so far in the second half, the Steelers are having success. They're doing the opposite of what they did the first half. Now they're dropping everybody into coverage, making Blake hold the ball just a little bit longer. Now the rush is getting to him.
The other thing, too, is, Dick, on the defense, we know that they just don't have the depth. They don't have it in the offensive line either. Even Coach Shula told us we need some offensive linemen. These guys are tired, and Pittsburgh can smell it, and they're going after them.
It's closer to 11. Just does get away from Kevin Green. And try to run it. Oh, he hit at the 30, short of the first down. Ray Seals, 320 pounds, and Greg Lloyd, about 100 pounds less, but he has the impact of a locomotive, make the hat.
First of all, Gray misses the play here, but Lloyd could have taken Blake out for the rest of the year. Watch number 95. Here he comes to the right of your screen. Wham! I mean, he just nails him.
That's a good illustration of the Pittsburgh defense right there. 97 Ray Seals, a down lineman, chasing the ball across the field and making a play.
We'll go for it on 4th down. It's 4th and closer to 4 for Blake. He throws complete to Pickens. He had his own way out of the first half, and Pickens with the first down at the Steeler 47-23 on the play.
Darnay Scott, number 86, is limping.
Pickens now 130 yards and a touchdown today. His 14th score to lead the NFL. No huddle. Blake dumps it off to the enemy. And the enemy hit by Seals at the 40. Gain of 6.
Pittsburgh had trouble getting their defense back onto the field. They were late getting there. Now, Seals doesn't know whether he should go on or go off.
No, he wants somebody to come in and take his place. He's tired.
Bill Johnson comes in for Seals. Second down. Blake fumbles, juggles, recovered by Pittsburgh. Bill Johnson, who just came in the game.
I'm going to tell you what, I think that Pittsburgh has 12 guys on the field.
There's a flag down. Blake, his receivers well covered, unable to get off the ball. Well, there's a flag down. They pick up the flag and call timeout. Forced fumble this year for Greg Lloyd. What an impact player he is. Pittsburgh unstoppable the second half. Van Morris wrestled down to Andre Collins after a couple of yards. Going into the season, Lloyd had more forced fumbles the last 4 years than any player in the NFL, and he's added 5 more this year.
Well, 77 Sergeant is holding him on the way back to Blake. He just gets by him, gets a sack, forces the fumble. I mean, the guy never stops.
That 25, and actually, if the Pittsburgh media guide is correct, it's 27.
Outside linebackers that have caused all those fumbles, and that's how they get them, rushing from the backside, stripping the quarterback.
Reverse to Mills. He could go. And lost his balance on the sidelines at the 33-yard line. Rod Jones saved the touchdown.
Neil O'Donnell on the block.
Yeah.
Did you ever make a good block? Be honest.
Yes.
Now, Neil O'Donnell is the guy that makes a great block downfield.
Really what it is, it's just a good call. The Bengals know you're going to run the football, so the Steelers change it up. They run the reverse to take advantage of a defense that's desperate and over-pursuing. Right there you can see, look at the Steelers. They have to search to find somebody to block, and you're right, the quarterback putting that punishing block under the center.
It's just the runner went the wrong way and he gone inside. Straight ahead goes Morris. Not much there this time. Timo von Oelhoffen on the tackle.
Look at Kevin. He knows how good that block was by Neil O'Donnell. You notice how gingerly he patted his hand because he knows that's his throwing arm. He didn't hit it hard. He went up and kind of tapped it.
Well, you can't deny that spirit on the Steelers sidelines is something that every coach and every team just has to be envious of. It's a wonderful thing to see. And Cowher, who is a spirited man himself, after a 3-4 start when they lost to Cincinnati 3-4.
Dick, this is a team that's got the fever right now. They can smell it, and they're doing it in all different areas of the game.
Morris again. And flag down as the hit made by Steve Tovar. For those of you, this has been an extraordinarily long game, and that's one of the reasons, the penalties, that are tuned in for the skills challenge. We'll have that for you as soon as play.
Number 66, offense. 10-yard penalty, second down.
As soon as play is over here at Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium, but a high-scoring affair, 42-31. The Steelers overcoming a lead of 31-13 early in this half that the Bengals enjoyed, but rattled off 4 unanswered touchdowns.
Well, the thing that David Shula told us, though, yesterday, he said, you know, they need some players, Dick. They've got a nucleus of young people. You pointed it out from skill position on the offense. But defensively, they need some more players. They need a couple offensive linemen. They need some defensive secondary help.
2nd and 17. O'Donnell off a fake. Jonathan Hayes, the tight end, down at the 10-yard line. Tracy Walker makes the tackle. Hayes, not the speediest of tight ends. 32 yards on the play.
Well, again, the Steelers just taking advantage of a defense that's over pursuing. The play action fake to the left, roll the other way, and beautiful touch and anticipation by Neil O'Donnell right there, just laying it over the top of the defense in front of the safety, Tracy Walker.
And when you know, Dick, you say, well, why are they doing what they're doing now? Remember, this team had already beaten Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, and here's a team right now that they're just trying to put them away. They're not taking any mercy on anybody. Whatever's open, they're going to take it.
They go for 5 unanswered touchdowns, and Morris shreds it for a score. He has the hat trick.
That was too easy, Mel. That was too easy. Right in your face, folks. Here he comes. 33, Bam Ward. The blocking up front. A little bit of holding. That's a load coming through the middle.
Bam Morris may get that other Bam back. He may be Bam that he lost back in high school.
You're right. He keeps running like that, and I think you hit it on the head. He hadn't been in there in a few weeks to get those carries. He's fresh, and he's hungry, and he's just running with reckless abandon and just running over the Bengals defense right now.
96 yards and 3 touchdowns for Bam Morris, who had only 4 scores in the first 10 games. Johnson legs it through. 49-31. Obviously the top scoring game of this season for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Neil O'Donnell has enjoyed indeed his career opportunities against the Cincinnati Bengals. O'Donnell indeed his best completion day against Cincinnati. 21 of 25, including completions to 8 different receivers. 84% percentage remains a Steelers franchise record. And we'll check just what his report card is today. Nothing but smiles on the Pittsburgh sidelines. 24 for 31 this afternoon. He's only 23 yards shy of a 400-yard game. You know, the more you watch him and the more you talk with Neil O'Donnell, the more you like him.
Yeah, I think he's really found his role. And I think, you know what's really happened, Dick? Their defense struggled. The team got behind early year. They had to open the offense up. And what has happened, the defensive players in this team now really have a tremendous respect for what he can do as a quarterback out there. And I think it's just bringing this whole team together.
Another kickoff. Boy, Johnson's going to have to massage that right leg. Dunn slips down at the 25. And just to complete the Neil O'Donnell story today, the 377 yards today is a career high for O'Donnell. Well, tonight the bestseller is an NBC movie event, Dead by Sunset. Ken Olin is the star. Powerful world premiere movie based on a shocking true story. Parental discretion is advised. That's tonight on NBC.
Hey, Dick, I'll tell you, the Cincinnati Bengals going down 3 to the Pittsburgh Steelers may be dead by sunset. I like that.
Yeah, it was good. That was very good.
I thought it was.
Smooth.
He's the sage of the segue.
Yeah, not enough O's and smooth for that one, Paul.
Thank you.
Blake. Intercepted? No. Almost in the midst of Brenston Buckner. He's been flirting with a couple of interceptions as we have Jeff Blake down after he threw the ball. And Ray Seals, one of the biggest of the Steelers at about 320, was the man. Watch 97.
That's Greg Lloyd, I think, that ends up almost with the ball.
Oh, takes it to the ribs, to the left side of his ribs. Sometimes even those rib pads can't stop a hit like that. And here you're going to see Greg Lloyd. Oh, you know what happened? He saw a touchdown. Took his eyes off of that ball at the last second, and he knows it.
I'll tell you what happened. That thing hit him in the stomach, and his stomach's like a rock, and it bounced back about 4. There is anybody built like this guy, Dick. I mean, he's solid as cement.
What'd you say in the summer camp when you saw him with bare-chested?
I said you could throw a dart at this guy at 40 feet, hit him in the chest, it'll bounce off. There's nothing can stick. I mean, this guy is as solid as a rock.
What a player. I mean, talk about intensity. He fined early in the preseason on the hit on Brett Favre, and he said, yeah, how about the times I'm leg whipped and the times I'm clipped and all the rest? He said you got to be a man to play this rough game, and he's not a dirty player. He said, what do you want me to do, go after the quarterback's knees?
Well, you know, it was a good point he made to us, so it's right. A lot of times the rules, and he said if I went in there and went low, I could hurt that quarterback, and then you could classify me as a dirty player. But he goes in high. When you can run that fast and you're built like him, you hit people, they're going to go flying.
David Klingler replaces Blake. Klingler has thrown only 11 passes all year, losing his job to Blake, and he completes it to Tony McGee. Lloyd, who else, makes the tackle. Klingler, who was the #1 pick of the Bengals, the 6th player selected in the draft 3 years ago. No huddle used by the Bengals. Gets it outside to Scott. Renee Scott. Wally Williams at the 40, a first down for the Bengals. 3:22 left in this fourth quarter, and many of the 60,000 Bengal fans who had so much to cheer about first half and early into the third quarter made their way out of Riverfront. Steelers fans are, batted around and intercepted. 2 years of the Syracuse Express semi-pro. He worked at the Syracuse Hotel.
Well, watch Ray Seals. You'll see him to your left of the screen. He gets pushed to the right here. He sees the quarterback throwing the ball. Oh, and he gets a little help from the offensive lineman in the center, David Grills.
That was room service.
Absolutely.
There it is. Watch this. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, Derek Grills, the center for the Bengals, sees the ball, and he's not used to catching it either. He says, I don't want it, you take it.
Second career interception for Seals. Not been an easy year for him. His best friend in an altercation with police was killed in Pittsburgh. Something that has continued to be studied. Cordell Stewart at quarterback. Gives to Bam Morris, and so Stewart finally at the spot where he intends to be for many years at quarterback.
Dick, you know, I kind of wonder, and I wanted to ask this question. I asked David Shuley yesterday about it. If you lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers, if that in fact happens, you go 3 down and they only have 5 to play, could be basically out of it. How does that affect this young football team? And he said, we are a pretty good football team. We know some of the things that we need to have. But this will really be a test for this Bengal team because they have to hold themselves together, even with the injuries they've had.
Painful for Shula to watch. They're coaching defense at record numbers of yards allowed as Fred McAfee adds to that 525 plus as he goes down to the 25-yard line. And if he went out of bounds, stops the clock at 2:13. Boy, what a second half for Pittsburgh. After seeing Blake hit McGee for a 20-yard touchdown to make it 31-13 Cincinnati.
Wow.
There's the fumble that led to the touchdown. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Didn't take him many plays to score 36 points, a 2-point conversion as well.
And what's impressive about that, Dick, is the fact they overcame penalties, a lot of bad situations where they went against them. They overcame some long third-down situations. It's really been an impressive performance by their offense.
Bam Morris just chews up the clock down to the 2-minute warning. The Steelers 49, the Bengals 31. You're watching the NFL on NBC.
And your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. By Lexus Luxury Automobiles, the result of a relentless pursuit of perfection. And by Red Dog Beer, bold yet smooth, unusually easy to drink. You are your own dog.
And the Steelers with 551 yards, not a Pittsburgh record. 683 is that mark set against the Chicago Cardinals in 1958. But very impressive indeed. And the 49 points is the second most ever on the road scored by a Steeler team. Mike Tomczak in at quarterback. And he gives to Tim Lester. Lester's first carry as the Steeler played with the Rams the last couple of years, blocked for Jerome Bettis. Well, assuming all stays the same here, this would be the AFC Central standings as the Steelers, after 7, they were 3-4, and spirits were down. Now have opened a 3-game lead over Cincinnati and Cleveland. The Browns losing to Green Bay. Houston plays Kansas City tonight, and Jacksonville lost by a point today to Tampa Bay. So Pittsburgh with 5 left, certainly well in command of the AFC Central. A division that undoubtedly will not produce a wild card team. Cleveland next week in Cleveland for Pittsburgh, and that's going to be a very interesting game, only because it'll be the last time a Pittsburgh team will play the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. You know, the Steeler fans, as much as that rivalry was angry and at times, you know, next to Cleveland fans, I think the Pittsburgh fans are going to miss Cleveland football as much as anyone in the country.
Absolutely. What a great rivalry it was. You know what happens? You hate the other team so much sometimes you love them, and that's kind of what happened in that rivalry. But, you know, looking at this Steeler team, the thing that maybe they'll learn, and I think what's been impressive in the second half, their defense got very conservative, stopped the passing game of the other team, and allowed some of their front guys to get pressure. And maybe here in the future they'll go and be a little more conservative on defense and keep some of these quick scoring plays away from the other offense.
That's going to do it. That was the final play as Copeland put the hit on Lester.
Change of possession.
That was the 4th down. They just ran it in there, and Cincinnati will indeed have another couple of plays. 35 seconds to go at the 17-yard line.
You know, Dick's talking to Steve Tobar yesterday, the linebacker for Cincinnati, who is from Cleveland. He was really saddened by the fact that he says, you can't take a team out of Cleveland. That's football. Cleveland Stadium, the Cleveland Browns. And I agree with you. When you made that comment before about you can't take that name, the Browns, with you, that belongs in Cleveland.
Tovar said that his favorite player was Brian Sipe, and then he showed his linebacker mentality. He said, Sipe, because I used to love the way Lambert would knock him out. What a nice way to look at it. I'm sure Brian out there in San Diego, California is pleased to hear that he had such a young man worshiping his efforts.
Get knocked out.
A look at the scores go by, and Green Bay 7-4, and the Packers continue to play well. Detroit, boy, you put the heat on Fonts.
And I'll tell you, that is true. Every time they're in a must-win situation, they win.
Indianapolis certainly not out of it. Atlanta moves, can do no worse than be tied for first. And Philadelphia quietly building a 7-4 season.
Oh, he's upset, Mr. Giants over here. He's upset. You get upset every week. They lose every week.
Not every week.
Well, almost every week. The Giants.
They tried to draw and smothered his enemy by Kevin Henry. And we'll see whether or not the Bengals even try to run off the final play.
I'd get out of here without getting anybody else hurt. That's what they're going to do. Just walk away.
So from 31-13 up Cincinnati early in the second half, the Pittsburgh Steelers 5 touchdowns, a 2-point conversion in an impressive comeback win, 49-31. The Steelers, 3-game lead atop the AFC Central. What a game in Cincinnati today. Great golfers compete, and the action that will follow here on NBC
and the Bengals haven't swept the Steelers since 1990. They won on a Thursday night in October. Could they do it again? David Dunn, it's well done. Opening kickoff across the field to Jeff Hill. And look at him go. He could go all the way. Well, he went 62 yards. That set up Jeff Blake. To Darnay Scott. Touchdown, 7-0 Bengals. More injuries, though, for the Bengals. James Prancer, the linebacker. Lower left leg gets rolled over, x-rays. Broken leg. Gone for the year. Tough break. No, I didn't mean to make a pun there. It's a tough break for Francis. Jeff Blake, though, rolls out. And Levon Kirkland, what are they doing? It's a penalty. That's not like the Steelers. 14-3 Bengals, and Bill Cowher says, you don't do that. And then, Tommy, they went to work on Carnell Lake.
Yeah, you're going to see Carnell Lake here step in to help on the run, leave his man, Carl Pickens, result a 26-yard gain on the reception. Then Lake gives Pickens too much space right there. You see him back off at least 12 yards. Pickens makes a nice reception, picks up the easiest 8 yards he's going to get this year.
David Chula says 4th and goal. Let's go. And they go for it. Blake to Pickens. Carnell Lake called for pass interference, Tom.
Yeah, well, you can see that Lake got his arm around him. Pickens watching the ball. He almost makes that catch.
Well, Blake goes back to Pickens against Lake for a touchdown. It's 21-3 Cincinnati. It's over. It's all over. Or is it? Neil O'Donnell with his club down 31-13 early second half over the middle of one of the Mills brothers, Ernie Mills. Then Bam Morris, touchdown 31-20. Cincinnati by 11. Still third quarter. O'Donnell to Andre Hastings. Touchdown, 31-26. They go for 2 to the Steelers. And watch this play. O'Donnell to Cordell Stewart to Eric Pegram. You get 1 point for every handoff or lateral. They made 2, hence they get the 2 points. It's 31-28. Then O'Donnell to Cordell Stewart. Oh my goodness! This rookie quarterback slash wide receiver slash returner slash excitement has given the Steelers a 35-31 lead.
Yeah, Cordell Stewart here on number 24, Roger Jones. He beats him at the line of scrimmage and gets deep into the zone. Darrell Williams doesn't realize how fast he is. Then the speed, the balance, the power, and credit Cowher with finding ways to use Stewart.
Shades of Marlon the Magician Briscoe, who played in the 60s and 70s for Miami and Buffalo and Denver, wide receiver and quarterback. Meanwhile, Neil O'Donnell says, we got some other guys, like the veteran Jonathan Hayes, the former Chief, 31 yards. Then it's Bam Morris, his 3rd touchdown in the last 22 minutes. the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they were inside the 10. When the clock ran out, they would have gone in again. An 18-point lead for the Bengals, and they lose by 18. Steelers 49, and the Bengals 31, 37-6. Outscored in the second half, 556 yards of offense by the Steelers. All right, let's start with the first game, Tommy. The Packers, the Sunday night game, may have a 3-game lead over everybody in the AFC Central. Since he had it in hand, Tom.
Well, I think the big question is how can you be 18 up and go 18 down to lose a football game? But people need to remember that the Cincinnati Bengals are on target right now to give up more passing yards than any team in the history of the National Football League, and it has been a long, illustrious history. They've been throwing the ball for a long time.
Well, they're on pace to give up the second most yards by any defense ever. Now, you see that pass to Cordell Stewart, 71 yards? I think that's pretty good for a quarterback catching a pass in Steeler history. Not even close to the record. Terry Bradshaw, 1981, to ESPN's Mark Malone. The quarterback, Mark Malone, but early on he was a wide receiver. That not only is the longest touchdown pass in Steeler history. Cordell's got a way to go.
The New York Football Yankees rushed for 6 touchdowns, passed for 4, received 3. In 68, Marlon Briscoe passed for 1,589 yards as quarterback for the Broncos. The next year, he caught 532 yards as the wide receiver for the Bills. And in 1981, our man Mark Malone threw 3 TDs for the Steelers and then caught 1, too. So there is a time-honored tradition for Steeler rookie QB and receiver Cordell Stewart to live up to. He and the Steelies visiting Cincinnati. He's the most famous Cordell since Secretary of State Cordell Hull in the FDR administration for you FDR fans. And now the new deal from Cincinnati off the opening kickoff. It's the razzle-dazzle from the Bengals. David Dunn wasn't the lateral to Jeff Hill, who caught the Steelers snapping and went 62 yards down the right sideline to set up a touchdown. And here comes another one, except Carl Pickens has been interfered with. Darnell Lake saying hello. So it's 1st and goal from the 1. Blake will go back to Pickens. No pass interference in this one. Might have called it. 21-3 Bengals. It's a rout. But in the second half, the Steelers have regrouped. 31-20 Cincinnati. Neil O'Donnell says, Andre Hastings, hello. 15-yard touchdown, 31-26 Bengals. He's either signaling for peace or a 2-point conversion. The dance on the sideline concludes, go for the 2-point. And there it is, off the Stewart handoff. It's an Eric Pigram, 31-28 Bengals, delivered right to your door. Fourth quarter, 1st and 10 from the 29. O'Donnell to Stewart. He staggered, he controlled it, and got back up and scored the lead touchdown. It's 35-31 Pittsburgh. Now it's 42-31. The Steelers are leading in the game they were dead in. Bam Morris has already scored twice. Bam Morris has now scored thrice, and the Steelers have made the comeback. And after having lost 6 games by a total of 25 points, the Bengals managed to blow an 18-point lead and then lose by 18. 556 total yards net for Pittsburgh, 377 of them from O'Donnell in the air. Are you sure the Bengals weren't the ones who moved to Baltimore?
Yeah. We are 3 weeks into the NBA season.